and your very good afternoon to everyone out there in the world of Limerick GA, and it's the two Gaelic rounds for the quarter-finals of the Bon Secours County Senior Hurling Championship, and you're very, very welcome to what is a wet and windy Gaelic rounds here this afternoon. Breeze blowing from left to right as we look down from our perch here high in the Mick stand. It's the meeting of Kilmallock and South Liberties in this county quarter-final. An intriguing battle lies ahead of us here as the famed Kilmallock look to get themselves back into a county semi-final for what should be their fourth year in a row. For South Liberties, it's their third appearance here in 4 years, yet to have to win a quarter-final, but will feel coming in today that they've got every chance of against this Kilmallock side. It's Kilmallock, a team who sees two changes from the programme that we received a little bit earlier on, with Barry Hennessy starting in goals. Liam English, Mark O'Loughlin and Aaron Costello make up the full back line. Philip O'Loughlin, Kieran O'Connor and Paddy O'Brien partner in the half-back line, while at midfield Robbie Hanley and David Wolfe will take the challenge to the Souths. It's Micheál Houlihan, Oisin O'Reilly and more than likely Graham Mulcahy will be on that half-forward line in a change for Robbie Egan, while inside Dan Joy, Gavin O'Mahony and Kevin O'Donnell will line out, and I assume that Dan Joy will end up at some place in defence. Just looking quickly at the South Liberty side, their team sees one change also. It's Anthony Nash, the veteran goalkeeper, who starts in goal. Owen Quilty, Michael O'Brien and Brian Nash will be on the full-back line. David Gary, an experienced hurler at this level, comes in for Owen Godfrey at number 5, with Conor McSweeney captaining the team at 6 and Shane O'Neill at 7. Brian Ryan and Barry Nash partner at midfield, while on the half-forward line Barry Cooney, David O'Neill and John Hickey will line out, while inside it'll be left to Ken Burns, Mike Keane and Brian Gary to do the damage for the men from East Limerick. It's an intriguing battle. Both teams have lost the game on their way to a county quarter-final, Matt O'Callaghan, but still Kilmallock would come in as warm favourites.
Yeah, I suppose they would come in because of their form, I suppose, over the last couple of years, and I suppose plus the fact that they're coming in from Section A as distinct from Section B. But you're right, Ger, both teams have lost. I have seen both teams involved, and the narrative has been is that this could be a routine win for Kilmallock, which is something I don't buy into at all. I honestly think that South Liberties showed what they could do in the opening round against Blackrock. Now they slipped up against Garrisballan, but it was a must-win game for Garrisballan, and the dynamic changes when you have that situation. Whilst it wasn't near as important for South Liberties because of their score difference, they were virtually assured of being in the quarter final anyway. But so look, there's nothing better to focus players' minds than lose and you're out. It changes everything. Like, you go that extra yard, you go that extra mile as it were, and you chase the last ball. Whilst there's a sort of a thing, an ingrained thing in the head that if it's not knockout, that there's another chance coming down the tracks.
It's desperation almost. Jack Neville, looking at both teams coming in, I suppose the traditional championship you would have had 3 or 4 or 5 games if you were in the B championship coming into a quarter final. Teams have 2 competitive games. Is there any fear that this is a more even contest because teams might be undercooked?
Yeah, there is a chance the teams are going to be undercooked just having played 2 games, but when you look at the sides, they're probably coming in after very different second games. Like Ballybrown should have beat Kilmallock, and Kilmallock will probably say, this is our chance now. We had that game against Ballybrown, we probably should have lost it. Whereas Liberties started like a train against Blackrock and won by 16 points, but then they lost against Garrisballan. So for Kilmallock, they're coming in after a win. South Liberties lost the game, but in the same token, there's been a monopoly on semi-finals the last 4 or 5 years. Kilmallock, Doon, Napearshig and Patrickswell. I think that gap is getting closer every year, and South Liberties will definitely think they have a chance today. And looking through their team, the likes of Brian Ryan, Barry Nash, Anthony Nash, there's some serious talent in around that midfield. They'll have to start strong, but there's definitely a chance there. Look, as you said, they definitely would rather have the 5 games, but it's the same for Kilmallock as well. Every team wants as many games to get settled into a championship. But look, you mentioned the word intriguing 3 or 4 times, and Matt mentioned that it won't be routine, and I think we will have a very close game. Kilmallock will definitely be favoured, but it should be a cracking game here.
Our man in the middle this afternoon is from Brewery. It's John O'Halloran, and he's going to be the man who's just going to do the coin toss at the minute. And it looks like, yes, it is. It's Kilmallock who've won the toss, and they're opting to play against the Breeze in that first half. And Philip O'Loughlin there saying that they will play into the clearing goal down to our left-hand side. So Barry Hennessy will be swapping sides in a while. Just to touch on that point, Matt O'Callaghan, much experience on both sides. And, you look down through both teams and you see all-stars, potential all-stars coming even. There will be no lacking of incentive for both teams to try and get themselves to a semi-final. And for South Liberties in particular, they need to try and break this duck. They've been here 3 of the last 4 years.
They have, and they need to break it. And Jack made a very, very good point there when he mentioned about the South Liberties team, and in particular in that middle third. Like you've a kind of a diamond there. You have Conor McSweeney, you have the vastly experienced Shane O'Neill, you have Brian Ryan, you have Barry Nash, you have Davy O'Neill who's on fire, and there might be a secret weapon here at wing forward in Barry Cooney. He's an ex-Tipperary minor. He has scored 9 points from play in the 2 games to date, and like he was in irresistible form here in the game against Garrisbalane, even though they lost it. Now himself and David O'Neill on that particular night contributed 10 points between them from play, so like there is scoring potential there.
Looking at Kilmallock's decision there, Jack, just to play against that Breeze in the first half, it's always an interesting ploy. What happens now if you're South Liberties?
If you're South Liberties, look, the incentive is going to be there to shoot from distance. They can't get roped into that very early on, because if you have the wind, it'll probably add 10-15 yards to your strike. But it's a way harder strike. Like, in South Liberties will have to use the wind cleverly. Like, they'll have that bit extra yardage on their shots, on their passes. They should use the passes, because Kilmallock will find it that extra bit harder to get out of the defence. They'll have to run the ball out. But I think it probably does suit Kilmallock with the players they have there, the likes of Graham Mulcahy who can run it. Oisin O'Reilly is a terrific runner. Micheál Houlihan, all the likes of these players. So for South Liberties, you have to use it clever. You have to go into the break with an advantage, with the lead, but you have to be clever more than anything.
And it looks like Barry Nash is going to left half forward. He'll be obviously the person that they will be really looking to take the charge this afternoon to Kilmallock. Michael Keane and John Hickey lining up in midfield. It's the meeting of Kilmallock and South Liberties in the Bon Secures County Senior Hurling quarter final. There's also a few changes around Kilmallock team in terms of positioning, Matt O'Callaghan.
There is. I noticed Dan Joy anyway has gone back to his favoured position at left corner back, which is no great surprise. It looks as if Aaron Costello has moved out into the half back line. Now that would mean that the man that would vacate the position there would be Paddy O'Brien, who had a huge game here against Ballybrown. No, it is not. Paddy seems to be over on the far side of the field at right half back. I'm just trying to... No, Aaron Costello would look like as if he was lining up at midfield.
Yes, indeed, and just his familiar figure has gone into the middle there. Remember, South Liberties playing with the Breeze in the first half. It was Kilmallock's decision not to take the advantage after winning the toss, and this is an early chance for Brian Ryan, it would appear, wearing a red helmet, as of course is his opposite number in midfield, number 9. That is of course Barry Nash, but Brian Ryan quickly fires South Liberties into the lead here. And just after 57 seconds of play, we've got a quick fire score from the men from East Limerick. And
but just to take up a point there that Jack made about South Liberties playing with the wind, who will have a very important part to play in this will be Anthony Nash. His experience from his puck out and from his clearances will be very, very important, particularly with the wind, as to how he uses it.
There's an example there, the wind, Matt, that shot out on the sideline, like that shot wasn't on. And look, you at the start of a game, you want to get a score, you want to get into the game straight away. But that's one example of not being clever with the wind.
And well, this time they've worked it short. It's Paddy O'Brien on his own 45, slipping it out there, trying to get Kieran O'Connor on, but it's slow, and it's Mike Keane who's quickest to react. Coming forward is Barry Cooney. He's well hooked there, racing back. Captain Philip O'Loughlin wearing the number 5. In possession, trying to come away from Ken Burns, and pulled back by Burns. And will he be under that much duress to try and get it going? Remember, Kilmallock facing against the Breeze. Barry Hennessy has come from the goal, and in his unfamiliar green jersey today, Barry Hennessy. Normally he's the one wearing white, while the outfield players wear the green. He's going to have a clip at this. And opts to go short to Dan Joy. That late change, of course, on the Kilmallock side. Playing it forward to David Wolfe. Coming, but the ball is going to beat them and beat him and his marker, Mike Keane. It's gone out over the sideline, and the sideline is quickly taken by Mike Keane to the outrushing Conor McSweeney, coming from his centre back position onto David Gary, sweeping it up this line here, trying to get brother Brian onto possession, but Mark O'Loughlin happy to see that come. Good touch from Brian Gary though, keeps it in play. It's gone out over the sideline, in line, and it's gone for a wide ball. That's the second wide of the afternoon from the East Limerick men. Of course, South Liberties, a famed club, 7 county titles to their name. Playing a club today who have 11, and that's the men in all white, the Kilmallock men, and it's puck out has come to David Wolfe, and it's broken, and that's Brian Ryan spooning it off as far as David O'Neill over there. O'Neill turning on the right, getting it in, it's going to hold, and Barry Hennessy has to deal with it, just takes a flick off it, and the umpire quick smart on that. And it's all South Liberties at the minute, Matt O'Callaghan.
Yeah, and they're making the breeze count. I'm just trying to pick out how Kilmallock is sitting out. It looks to me as if Aaron Costello is playing a sort of a loose role, possibly in a kind of a sweeper role there, because it looks as if David Wolfe and Robbie Hanley, for the present anyway, are taking up the customary midfield role. Although maybe perhaps David Wolfe has gone to wing forward at this stage.
And it's Brian Ryan, son of the manager, of course, of the same name. Straight in front of the goal. Should be routine for Brian, and it is indeed. He goes for the flag. So Brian Ryan, from a 65, doubles the lead for South Liberties. Fine score from him. Very assured and competent free taker. So 4 minutes of play gone here. Kilmallock yet to really get out of their half, and it's Barry Hennessy. Low trajectory on this. Clips it forward. Comes off the top of the hurley of Mike Keane as racing out is Graham Mulcahy, but Conor McSweeney gets a possession and decides to turn defence into attack. It's a long probing ball, and equal to it is Mark O'Loughlin coming forward, trying to get his half forward line on it. It's Micheál Houlihan who's come really deep now. With him for company over there is Shane O'Neill, and Micheál Houlihan trying to come forward, but well won back by the resolute South Liberties defence. Spooned off by Brian Ryan to David O'Neill, and that's John Hickey now onto his left, having a go. It looks good, it is good, and Jack Neville, that's the best score we've had this afternoon.
That's a brilliant score there by South Liberties, and look, that just came from the wind there. Micheál Houlihan was forced to run, he couldn't strike it long. South Liberties doubled up, won the ball back, and a brilliant strike by John Hickey. Well,
an ideal start for the men in hoops here this afternoon. They would have hoped to have this kind of a start as Barry Hennessy opts to go long and high down on top of Robbie Hanley. It breaks behind him, and he comes onto it at the third time. Oisin O'Reilly had moved inside. It's going to find him now from the boot of Aaron Costello. This man can run. It's O'Reilly coming through. Just loses possession. Gavin O'Mahony's there, but Riley gets it back. He's in. Should be a free. It is a free, says John O'Halloran. It's going to be that first real attack from Kilmallock, and the blistering pace of Oisin O'Reilly was seen there on more than one occasion, and there's potency when he gets on the ball, Matt.
Certainly, and certain danger, and his absolute pace, and it was a bit remiss now of the South Liberties defence there, because they got an opportunity to clear it and didn't clear it, and he got a second bite of the cherry. And I think the referee is consulting. Was it in the square? It was very, very close. If it wasn't, we'll just wait to see what John's decision is. But it looks as if he's satisfied that it's just an ordinary 20-metre free, which, given his prolificacy so far in the competition, 16 points the last day, Micheál Houlihan will put it over the bar, which he duly does.
And well, as you were talking, Matt, we were marking it down. Micheál Houlihan, one of those real established players for Kilmallock now, making his debut just about 4 seasons ago as the puck out comes from Anthony Nash, but quickest to react was Aaron Costello, looking to bring it forward, and super challenge there by David Gary as John Hickey gets it off to Mike Keane. Well, this man has seen a lot of the Gaelic grounds down through the years. To Barry Nash, high and long, and it's, have we a flag? We have indeed. And Barry Nash, I won't say with his first touch of the game, but definitely only his second or third. He extends South Liberties' advantage 4-1 here. And well, we've got a game in our hands. It's Barry Hennessy looking for options. Hurley's high in front of him from the men from East Limerick as he opts to go long down on top of Shane O'Neill, and the school teacher from Christ the King just away from us here. He bats it forward, and he's fouled Micheál Houlihan as he went for the break, and This should be again routine enough for Micheál Houlihan. Kilmallock seem to be doing better with the longer puck out against the breeze.
Yeah, and certainly seem to be getting more purchase on the right wing now. This should be within his compass, but this will give us an idea of the strength of the breeze, Ger, which is quite strong now, and it would be blowing sort of not straight into his face, but sort of crossways. It's tricky from an accuracy point of view, but not to Micheál Houlihan.
And indeed, routine enough from Micheál Houlihan, and that's a fine score from him. And his two that he's been asked in the last 2 minutes to take, well, he hasn't left them down for Kilmallock, as the puck out comes, and it's Barry Nash who's broken through here. This is a real goal chance across the square to Ken Burns. Chance to finish, a goal for Liberties. And well, on the long puck out, Barry Nash, he broke onto it as the ball fell to the ground, got through the line, clipped it across to Ken Burns, and a super finish for the youngster from South Liberties.
Yeah, that's the former Old Christians man who's with South Liberties this year. But it was the puck out of Anthony Nash that peaked out Barry Nash. But when you look to leaders and when you look to your big names, certainly Barry Nash in his couple of interventions so far has certainly shown us what an important player he is to South Liberties.
And Nipper Brian Nash gets that ball away, and it's down towards Dan Joy. Kilmallock having to do a lot of defending, and Joy calmly out to Barry Hennessy, who advances from the goal. He'll try to get purchase on this. He finds the man in the middle. That's David Wolfe. Kevin O'Donnell is looking for the true ball. He's going to get it, hugging the touchline at the far side. He'll try and turn inside. No, he'll favour the right. He strikes. It comes across, and the umpire's nod, and that's a super score from Kevin O'Donnell. Well, one of the surviving members of that 2014 fantastic Munster Championship winning team, and O'Donnell, well, showing all his experience in class there from virtually on the sideline.
Yeah, and actually he just gave us a little cameo there of what Kilmallock have been missing in the group stages, because this is his first start of the championship. Now, he did come on in the other games and made contributions, but certainly Kevin O'Donnell left us all know, as if we didn't know already, what he's capable of.
Well, a player of great skill and class. It's here's another man of similar vein. It's Gavin O'Mahony, but from Gavin, he will be poor with that. That will be disappointing from him. Just going to the left and wide there from his left as he got through. You'd expect it would have been routine enough. A man who is finding new joy and vigour in that full forward line role that he's adapted to this year. And well, Kilmallock looking for a free from John O'Halloran for a tackle on Graham Mulcahy just before it, but it didn't happen. Anthony Nash finding only the hand of Philip O'Loughlin. Cross field to Micheál Houlihan. Low to Kevin O'Donnell. Kilmallock men in space now, and O'Donnell gets a chance to plant a foot. It's going to drop, and Anthony Nash opts to keep it in play. Back out to Owen Quilty. Danger here from the Liberties men as they try to get themselves moving up the field. It's pucked long down on top of Davy O'Neill, but Paddy O'Brien wins it to Micheál Houlihan against the breeze. Will it have the purchase? It's down on top of I was looking at Gavin O'Mahony. It actually landed on top of the crossbar and was touched over the bar by Anthony Nash. A super score from Micheál Houlihan, and what he can do from place balls, Matt O'Callaghan, he can do from play also.
Yeah, well, this is something that's sometimes forgotten. Like to date, he has got 7 points from play in the championship, so that will give you an idea. He's not just a one-trick pony of a free taker. Micheál Houlihan contributes quite a lot and is quite prolific also from open play. Kilmallock, I think, Joel, will be very happy having conceded the goal to be back right in touch, and this is a long-range free from the halfway line. I don't think that Micheál Houlihan is coming out to take it, but they're within touching distance.
And for all the great start that Liberties have had, it's that Ken Burns goal that remains between the teams. 1-4. Barry Hennessy being told to pull the ball up by Jonathan Hayes, the linesman at the far side. He's just behind the middle of the field here, and again should have good purchase on this. Barry Hennessy, very good striker of the ball, into the teeth of the breeze though, and he strikes it. He has distance, has the accuracy, and well, the Kilmallock goalkeeper has got on the score sheet here, and well, we're not overly surprised with that. a fine striker, Barry Hennessy, and just the 2 points between them now as we come back to the puck out and finding the hand of Brian Ryan just underneath us here. Conditions poor as he loses his footing. Ball is pulled on, and it's pulled on harshly by Kieran O'Connor. Looked to have been a chop maybe on John Hickey as he was getting his hurley down. And John O'Halloran says, well, that's going to be a chance for Brian Ryan now to extend the advantage back to 3.
Yeah, it's a difficult angle though, Ger. It's the most difficult free he's faced up to now, but it's quite within his compass. It'll be a question of guiding it in, because the breeze, whilst is favouring very much South Liberties, there is a bit of a twist in it, and you know, he will have to gauge it pretty accurately.
And of course a player of immense experience, both with Limerick underage and Limerick seniors, and well, he does the need there, Brian Ryan. His college, of course, DCU, puts his club 1-5. Back to the good here. 13 minutes gone in the Gaelic grounds, and it's Davy O'Neill who's underneath the puck out. Gives it on to Mike Keane. Touch just doesn't get there. It's Barry Nash battling, but it's the yellow helmet of Oisin O'Reilly that looks to bring it away. Good hit on him from Brian Ryan. Play on, says the referee, but fouled after the ball had been played, and it's going to be a free now. Free to Kilmallock, and it just Oisin O'Reilly took 1-2 hits there, but also took one after the he had played the ball. And John O'Halloran tells us it's going to be a free in. And is Barry Hennessy advancing? No, he's not. Micheál Houlihan coming for this one. And are we going to have the first yellow card of the afternoon? Mike Keane looks like he's going to be spoken to.
Yeah, does it look as if it was for verbals? I don't know, because did he seem to be involved in it at all, you know? But it's surprising that coming out to take this one now. He probably will convert it, that they haven't gone for Barry Hennessy from practically identical position that he scored the last one. But we'll just see him. Mike obviously confident about it.
Yeah, no real surprise in that now. That is a super score from Micheál Houlihan, and well, he brings it back to a 2-point game again. 1-5 now in the Gaelic grounds after 14 and a half minutes of play. Coming up to the water break very soon as Liberties opts to go route 1 down on top of Kieran O'Connor, and Barry Cooney comes away with it back to Barry Nash. He's not getting room for his strike there, and it's Ken Burns who's in around it, but there's a flood of white jerseys there as well. Ground conditions underfoot are good, but the grass is wet, and it's Dan Jai who's coming away to Micheál Houlihan. Players of the same generation outside to a man of a different generation, but still on the same team. It's Paddy O'Brien. Back to Houlihan again. Remember, Kilmallock against the breeze. Oisin O'Reilly has come deep, but it's a lot of green and gold jerseys that are around there. One is Barry Nash, and it's on the ground, battle for possession. It's Shane O'Neill who gets it. The veteran O'Neill comes forward, and he's held in possession, and that's going to be a free up to the South Liberties men. Breeze assisted. Brian Ryan should have plenty distance here. What will have to try and do is get that accuracy right. He's been 100% so far. As we await the South Liberties man to move across. Of course, 2 red helmets by the 2 midfielders, 8 and 9, Barry Nash and Brian Ryan. So similar styles.
Yeah, it's a very important free for South Liberties, just to keep it within more than 2 points, because they haven't let Kilmallock within 2 points. A lot of times if a team can get within 1 score, that they'll take control. So it's a really important free here for Brian Ryan.
And Brian clips it in, and it looks like it's going to the left and wide. Liberties would be happy, Joe Jack, with their first quarter.
They'll definitely be happy, South Liberties. They had a brilliant start with that goal from Ken Burns, and just on that goal, it was brilliantly worked by Barry Nash. Like, he's a man at the peak of his powers. He's going to get an All-Star later on this year, and just to even see Ken Burns, not to mind to pick him out, but just to see him was a brilliant piece of skill, and Ken did very well with the finish. That goal, I think, put him 4 points ahead. Kilmallock have been better since the goal, to be fair. They're using the ball that bit better. As I said, with the wind, like, sometimes you just want to go along because you have that extra bonus. It's that bit of calm, that bit of patience that Kilmallock are showing. Like, we haven't seen Kilmallock launch any balls in. It's kind of get it into the middle to the likes of Micheál Houlihan, Oisin O'Reilly. We haven't seen Graham Mulcahy yet, which probably is a worry for South Liberties as much as it would be for Kilmallock, because if Graham can get into this game, we know what he's about. But look, we said that South Liberties needed the lead at the half. They have it at the water break. If they can keep to the half, that's half the job done. But it's intriguing so far, definitely.
Is it a 6 or 7 point breeze, Matt?
Possibly it's different. Well, maybe not 6 or 7, but it definitely is a 4 or 5 point breeze. I think Kilmallock will be extremely happy. As Jack's referenced there, like they went 4 points down, and like South Liberties playing with the breeze, like coming in as underdogs, like you would have expected that they would have stepped on the gas at that stage. But no, it was Kilmallock regrouped very, very quickly. I think South Liberties have given away a couple of needless frees at crucial stages, which has allowed Kilmallock to come back into it. They gave away a couple of needless frees, particularly around the middle, which they were punished by both Barry Hennessy and Micheál Houlihan. I think if they want to build up a lead to put a challenge to Kilmallock in the second half, they will have to stop that. And you know, I think in the last 5 minutes particularly that we saw Kilmallock getting a grip in the game, and I think South Liberties have to take back the initiative if they're to build a sizable half-time lead that will put down a challenge to Kilmallock. So that's very interesting there. Philip O'Loughlin took the shot puck out, and he's blown by John O'Halloran for over-carrying, but I suppose it was good play by Barry Nash to ensure that he was going nowhere.
And good endeavour from the South Liberties half-forward line there. Held the big strong man, of course it is, Philip O'Loughlin, held him in possession and over-carrying the ball. Here's another great chance for Brian Ryan. Remember, missed the last one just before the water break. These are vital frees, as we've discussed. And that breeze, again, at his back this time, and Brian strikes it. The touch of the hurley from the crossbar of Barry Hennessy will tell you that Brian Ryan has found a range and found a target. 1-6 now, as Barry Hennessy looking to be more successful on this puck out. The last one, as we know, just resulted in a score. And Hennessy opting to go long and high. Still good distance and range here. It's David Gary, but touches away from Micheál Houlihan. Good challenge from Aaron Costello. Conor McSweeney racing forward. McSweeney trying to get himself into the Liberties half-forward line. He wins it at the second time of asking, but he's touched it on the ground, says John O'Halloran. And he was really close to it, the Brewery referee. And Brian Ryan just underneath us here telling Conor McSweeney, let that ball in. And here we've got a similar situation, about the third from this distance. Barry Hennessy scored one a while ago. Micheál Houlihan with one similarly, but more to the middle. And now Barry Hennessy, interestingly, comes for this one. And very little in yardage between the two. Barry, of course, the sub-keeper for Limerick, as the ball's not going to go wide. It's touched off a hurley in there, but Patsy Coffey, the umpire at that right-hand post, is calm as ever.
Yeah, Barry will be disappointed, I think, with that particular one, because it's something he has added to his ammunition this year. He's coming up and taking the long-range frees, and we have seen with goalkeepers, particularly with Anthony Nash, the importance of it. And I've no doubt before this game is out, we'll see Anthony Nash stepping up to frees. John O'Halloran is totally consistent. He's after blowing there for over-carrying, absolutely totally consistent. And again, as Jack says, it was against Barry Nash on this occasion. He was right beside the action.
And who takes this long range free?
Well, it's Barry Hennessy who's being entrusted to come again. Man on the ball now, and just in picture, Paddy O'Brien, well, he's taking long range frees in his day. Is he going to have a go at this one? No, he's not. He's leaving it to his friend and colleague, Barry Hennessy.
But while all this is going on, Ger, the clock is winding down, and Kilmallock's period against the breeze is winding down. So, you know, it's slowing down the pace of the game, which suits Kilmallock, because Liberties wanted as fast as possible to avail of that breeze. And
distance is coming here, and it's this, distance and accuracy are spot on from Barry Hennessy, as he makes it once again a 2-point game here in the Gaelic grounds. Puck out has quickly come from the stick of Anthony Nash. It's Kieran O'Connor who wins it back. Micheál Houlihan opting now to go long. Hula strikes. It goes in, and it goes over the crossbar, as we have a flag malfunction at the corner of the post there. The stick has left the flag, but still Patsy Coffey waves it white. So Micheál Houlihan answering back that puck out from Anthony Nash and putting the sides back to just 1 point between them as Kieran O'Connor again deals with the long puck out to Liam English, to Robbie Hanley, third hand pass in a row, off to Philip O'Loughlin. Now we're going forward to the Kilmallock full forward line. Gavin O'Mahony takes it back, but only as far as Mike Keane. Keane looking ahead to find Barry Cooney. Good touch from the man wearing the white helmet as Keane came for the return, but it was over ambitious, and Aaron Costello now into Graham Mulcahy. Good touch there from Brian Nash as he takes it away from the inter-county star. Kilmallock bodies start to appear, but first time hurling from Nash out to John Hickey, off to Davy O'Neill, ups the cut inside Kieran O'Connor, shortens the grip. This could be good if it was a score, and that's a super score from David O'Neill. And the game has begun to take life, gentlemen.
It shows the importance of the first time hurling that strike there from Brian Nash into midfield, just out of trouble, and a score there. Brilliant score.
And we've played 21 minutes nearly, and it's beginning to take life here in the Gaelic grounds. Both sides starting to hurl. It's Mike Keane over there, coming forward now on his left. Well marshalled by Kevin O'Donnell, but gets the ball moving down the line. It's Paddy O'Brien retreating, and retreats beyond the 45, looking to play it short to David Wolfe. Wolfe off to Aaron Costello. Crossfield ball coming now to Graham Mulcahy. This will suit the wily old forward as he turns onto that familiar left, clipping it inside to get Kevin O'Donnell to run onto, but Conor McSweeney has gone back deep and read that ball beautifully, but O'Donnell has anticipated the shot and he's taken it. It's come off the post, back out as far as Mike O'Brien. The Liberties full back, his strike is poor. It's to Oisin O'Reilly onto that left. Riley strikes coming in, and it's going to go to the left hand side and wide. Wide number 3 for Kilmallock is what I have it. A lively passage of play, Matt O'Callaghan.
A lively passage of play, but a few simple errors as we flagged earlier on there by South Liberties. The full back getting in the clearance, undercooking it, giving it away to Kilmallock. These are the little things that you've got to make safe when you're underdog.
And that is for sure. Every opportunity has to be taken as Liberty's up to go long, and Brian Gary coming out, puts his hand in it and does well, looking to get it inside to Barry Nash, who's gone into that full forward line. There could be a real chance here now as Liberty's come inside, off to Davy O'Neill, a chance to shoot it. O'Neill has poked it into the corner of the net. The outrushing Barry Hennessy could do nothing about it as he took the pass from Barry Nash, and along the ground stroke gets under the body of Hennessy. That's a tonic for South Liberties. 2-7-8 now as the game has really come to life.
Yeah, and a good application of the advantage there by John O'Halloran. There was clearly a foul on Barry Nash, but we got a sense there of what Barry Nash can do when he's inside full forward, and certainly it puts Liberties in a bit of a driving seat now. They're 5 points clear, and we were trying to gauge the value of the wind, and certainly we're into the territory now of where it really matters.
And a quick sideline from Kevin O'Donnell. Good thinking to Micheál Houlihan. He stretches, but it's going to tail left. Is Gavin O'Mahony being pulled down there inside there? He is, says John O'Halloran. Mike O'Brien impeding O'Mahony as the ball was going in. It went over their heads, and that's a cheap free to give away now, as the ball had gone dead to the right and wide.
It was needless, Jar, and this is the point that we're making about cutting out those silly frees, making those silly mistakes. That is a mistake, because the ball was clearly, with its trajectory, it was clearly on the way out over the inline and wide. There was no need for the concession of the foul at all.
Yeah, way too needless there, and it turns that goal into a 2-point goal straight away. Like, and South Liberties can't afford to do things like that.
And it's Micheál Houlihan on the edge of the D there, clipping it over, and he will make no great mistakes from that distance. So 2-7-9 now, as it becomes a little bit more manageable for Kilmallock. The puck out coming long. This is a super belt of a ball, almost to the far 21, but Aaron Costello onto the break to Paddy O'Brien, cross field to Micheál Houlihan. 2 Liberties men there, but Hula does well. Off to Kevin O'Donnell. This would be the best score if Kilmallock were to get it. It goes, but it goes to the left hand side and wide. Wide number 4. Good play from the South Limerick men. as the Balbic bring that ball forward, and Micheál Houlihan, definitely the sharpest Kilmallock forward today.
Yeah, no question about it, and he's causing all sorts of problems, not just because of his play, but where he's cropping up, Ger. Over just about 2 minutes ago, he was cropping up over in the right half forward position. Now he's inside at left corner forward, so it's very, very hard to pick him up.
And well, as you said it, we were watching Oisín O'Reilly do his thing around the centre forward position. A super run, and Graham Mulcahy seems to have drifted out to right half forward now, and that's a change to try and bring him more into the play. 24, nearly 25 minutes gone, and Oisín O'Reilly scoring what I believe is his first score of the afternoon, and the youngster at centre forward doing well, showing a clean pair of heels there as Liberties go route one once more. It's down to David O'Neill. It's lost in possession. Robbie Hanley doing well back there. These Kilmallock boys just hoping to break even for the next 5 or 6 now, get themselves to the short whistle as O'Reilly looks to feed inside. What a run from Micheál Houlihan, troubling old Quilty at the minute. Houlihan's on that right, it should be good, he strikes it. Patsy Coffey's going for the flag, and we have a score in the Gaelic rounds. It's a 2-point game. It's 2-7 to 11 now, and Micheál Houlihan gets Kilmallock's third score in a row.
I think Tony Considine will be absolutely delighted with with the response of his team to the concession of the second goal here thereafter getting 3 points. But Jerry, it all turned on giving away a silly free there for the first one, which you know, South Liberties just have to cut it out.
And Liam English getting that ball and trying to tread it through a number of players to Graham Mulcahy, but it's this man again, it's Oisín O'Reilly, like he did a couple of moments ago. I said he could show you a clean pair of heels. 1 point game in the Gaelic grounds because Oisín O'Reilly has put that one in and over the crossbar. Space beginning to open up in that half back line for South Liberties, and Micheál Houlihan, Oisín O'Reilly and company exploiting that space. 2-7 to 12 now.
Yeah, and Matt touched it there on the response by Kilmallock to the goal, and I stand to be corrected, but I think the first goal that South Liberties got, I think Kilmallock scored 3 on the bounce. They're after getting 4 on the bounce now. A 1 point game, and momentum has completely shifted. And look, Oisín O'Reilly is after getting 2 in a row. He was quite enough in the first 25 minutes, but you saw the pace there. He picks the ball up just outside his own 65, and within a matter of seconds he's inside the 45, and he could have went for goal. But look, if Kilmallock can keep it like this, even get level before half, they'll be very, very happy.
Well, that advantage that Liberties had after the second goal, it's been almost completely wiped out. It's Conor McSweeney now taking the puck out, but he's got Gavin O'Mahony on his shoulder for company, and well, Aaron Costello, the man they call Kazi around Kilmallock, he just came in and just a bit too much, says John O'Halloran, and advantage with the man with the ball. And Matt O'Callaghan said we'd see the other goalkeeper taking frees later on this afternoon. Well, we haven't had to wait for too long, and I can tell you one thing, Anthony Nash will have plenty range here, Matt. Will he have the distance?
Yeah, he certainly will have
the accuracy.
The accuracy is a question, but his accuracy hasn't left him down too often in the past, and he certainly will have the distance. I think he will.
He strikes it. It's going for the flag, and that's a welcome score from Anthony Nash and a welcome score from South Liberties as they get closer to half time. And Anthony Nash, of the veteran goalkeeper, Cork goalkeeper, back to his native South Liberties. He stops the rot as the Liberties men get back in charge with this with John Hickey, but it's cut out by Kevin O'Donnell. Bounce pass off to Kieran O'Connor. Opts to have a go. He's a long way out. It drifts poorly though. And Tony Considine, well, he doesn't like that. 5th wide for Kilmallock. We're going to get going quickly with Anthony Nash because they want the ball back in play. And it's Nash coming down to David O'Neill, but Philip O'Loughlin is coming from behind. O'Loughlin having a couple of inches of an advantage there in height, but he's held well and held by David Gary. Play on, says the referee, into Graham Mulcahy, but it's overcooked, and now comes Robbie Hanley. Good hefty shoulder there to Brian Ryan. Nothing changed as Kilmallock moves themselves forward, but it's Brian Nash who's on his own back there and cleverly opts to let that one go wide for Kilmallock's 6th wide. So 2-8, which is 14-12 for Kilmallock. 2 point game here. We're approaching the closing stages of this first half as Anthony Nash, the last scorer for South Liberties, goes short this time to Brian Nash, first cousin, as he clips inside and he gets inside on his right side and hits it forward past Ken Burns and Brian Nash, or Brian Gary I should say, and it goes out wide number 4. Back to Barry Hennessy. Game is just lulled a little bit at the moment. was frantic there for a while.
The half is just petering out, and I think Kilmallock are quite happy, just 2 points behind for it to play out like that. Now we have Graham Mulcahy with a first opportunity of the game.
Great use of possession by Philip O'Loughlin. It drops in, but Anthony Nash more than comfortable underneath that. Gavin O'Mahony coming, playing the ball back to Mike O'Brien, who wasn't expecting it, and Oisin O'Reilly's coming now as Shane O'Neill looks to get forward on the front foot. O'Neill finding the frame of Barry Nash there inside his own 65, down the field to get Brian Gary onto it. Lots of Brians in this team. It's gone off the stick of Kieran O'Connor and it's gone out over the sideline. Lots of red helmets and lots of Brians playing on both teams, I can tell you, as we have South Liberties in an attacking position. Last couple of moments of the first half as we're just in injury time now. If you've just joined us, you're very welcome. It's the Bon Secures Limerick County quarter final. 2 goals from South Liberties has them in a 1 point advantage. It's goals from Ken Burns and David O'Neill in both quarters, has them 2-8 to 12 points to the good. It's been a decent first half of hurling. Liberties with the breeze, as Barry Nash it is, who opts to cut this one. Probably would have liked to get more purchase on it. It's spooned away by Mark O'Loughlin, and it's Paddy O'Brien back to Kieran O'Connor. Short pass out to Robbie Hanley, hand pass off to Dan Joy. Beautiful hurling from Kilmallock as they breach their 45, looking to get it to the full forward line, but Liberty's there in numbers, and that's Barry Nash who makes the challenge. 3 bodies around Dan Joy. Ball is on the ground, and that's the last piece of play on 31 minutes here on the Gaelic grounds that we will see in this first half, a half in which Liberties raced into a 5 point advantage after that second goal. Kilmallock have pulled them back to just leave 2 between them at the break. It's been interesting, gentlemen. It's been one that we said Liberties would probably like to have been a little bit more further ahead in. Kilmallock to come with the breeze, but it's very much game on.
Yeah, it is game on, but Liberty's got a couple of tonics there in the shape of the goals and at the time when the goals came, and particularly the second goal when David O'Neill finished the ball there to the net after good work by Barry Nash and indeed good refereeing by John O'Halloran to allow the advantage. And it put them 5 points clear, John. And we were just saying they were moving into the territory of having a decent lead by half time. And you'd expect at that stage like that the wind was in their sails and that they would drive on from that point. But unfortunately, from a South Liberties point, no, it goaded Kilmallock into action, and their response with 4 points. Tony Considine will be absolutely delighted with it, and I'd say he will be absolutely delighted. Overall, he's entitled to be absolutely delighted with his first half performance. Now, for the reasons I said, I think Brian Ryan will probably be not as happy, because his side had worked their way on the scoreboard into the driving seat, and sort of the advantages that they had at that stage, they neither built on it nor at any stage didn't look like driving it home. And they've played against the stiffish breeze. It's a tricky breeze, but Kilmallock still got 12 scores to 10. Now, I know that's a simplistic way of putting it, but in many ways it's the scores on the board, the number of scores on the board, that very often reflects the play. And I think Kilmallock slightly have had more of the play despite playing into the breeze, and they have shown all their experience. But I go along with you, Ger, to the point that it is game on. It is certainly not a gimme for Kilmallock at this stage. It's certainly not job done for Kilmallock at this stage. And very, very interestingly, we're seeing it looks like Tomas Ryan to me that is warming up now whilst the rest are gone in. It will be very, very interesting to see if Tomas Ryan, who is a huge asset to South Liberties, if he will be introduced in the second half. What's going on down there suggests to me that he probably will, that they're testing his fitness to see if they can get what will be a crucial 30 minutes for South Liberties out of him.
Well, what a substitute to have to bring on if you're going to bring him on in the next couple of minutes. That is Tom Ryan, so we'll wait and see what they will do. It's been interesting, and Jack, as Matt was saying there, from the point of view of, for all the advantages that Liberties did have by getting themselves the goal, by putting themselves 5 up, really and truly, it's been the performance of Micheál Houlihan has been really eye-catching there in the first half. 7 first half points from both play and from place balls, but really the playmaker in chief for the Baltic.
Yeah, Micheál has been excellent in the first half. I have it down as 4 frees and 3 from play, and like if you can replicate that in the second half, that's 14 from play and 6 from play, which would be excellent for him. And really, I suppose after both goals, Micheál was the man to kind of take the game by the scruff of the neck and bring Kilmallock into it, and he kind of led the way for the likes of Oisin O'Reilly to get into the game. Graham Mulcahy started getting on a bit more ball. Even the backs kind of, I suppose, are a bit reinvigorated by Micheál up there, knowing that you kind of give him ball high, low, either side of him, and he was going to win it. But coming back to South Liberties, Ger, I think, look, they want to have been further ahead. There is a nice breeze there, but the only thing is they got 2 goals from 2 chances. Like, if they get 2 more chances in the second half and complete that strike rate 100%, like, it's very hard to be the team that get 4 goals. Overall, I don't think Brian Ryan will be too disappointed. Like, Tom Ryan is obviously in reserve and an excellent player, and if he was fully fit, he'd definitely be starting and probably starts for every team in the county. But you don't want to bring on Tom Ryan behind. Now South Liberties have a lead that they can protect, albeit it's not the lead they wanted to, but they have a lead. We said that was job half done. For Kilmallock, they're going to be winning 2 points. So I think both sides will be relatively happy. I think for South Liberties, after the goals, they failed to build on them. But it's probably through their own sloppy mistakes more than anything. Like Matt touched that free inside. And look, it's a simple mistake to make, but it's a huge one because it allowed Kilmallock to turn that 3-point goal into a 2-point goal. They built on that. They scored 4 in a row. I think both sides are evenly happy. You said intriguing before the game. I still think it's very intriguing, Ger, and I wouldn't want to be calling it.
One man we haven't mentioned a lot about, Matt, and he's a man with huge amounts of experience. Got that vital free in there, and I suppose it's not just his ability on the ball, but his prowess off the ball as well. And that's Gavin O'Mahony. And like, we go back to the Ballybrown game, and when Kilmallock were really under the cosh that day, it was Gavin who led the charge. And even go back before that to the Piercy game, he had a fantastic game despite being on a losing team. He's someone that if Kilmallock get a little bit more ball into in the second half, he could really have a big say in how this final result goes.
He will have a big say if they get it in. It's as simple as that, because, like, you know, class is permanent. He's one of the, like, probably when you talk about the list of players, great players that haven't won All-Ireland medals, Gavin O'Mahony is up there with him, because the service that he's given to Kilmallock and given to Limerick has been phenomenal over the years. And the standard, the high standard of play and the high standard of that he expects from himself and expects from those around him is absolutely phenomenal. And that free, and you could say, I've no doubt there was people down below us, Wiley O'Mahony playing for the free. He wasn't playing for the free, actually. He was blatantly fouled, actually, for that ball. But like, his cuteness and his cleverness, like, is a huge piece of armoury for Kilmallock. You're absolutely right. But I would just like to touch on Micheál Houlihan. Like, Micheál Houlihan is having a season, you know,
like
not
no
to
other.
Forget.
Yes.
Like, it's a chip of the old block, but he is causing so much. How do you go about picking him up? Because we have seen when he's cropping up. He's cropping up over right half forward. He's cropping up left corner forward. He's cropping up out here as a kind of a third midfielder. He's all over the place. And you see, his great strength is that wherever he gets it, he's able to use it. He's able to use it to bring teammates in, number one, which he's not slow to do. But Ger, his accuracy is simply phenomenal. 28 points in 3 games. That's the record. 5 against the Piercy, 16 against Ballybrown, and 7 today. Adjust the record and say that, is it 9 of them are from Clay?
Yeah, well,
you know, absolutely.
And will I probe the further question, Matt O'Callaghan? Is he somebody that John Kiley will be kind of very interestingly looking at as an autumn project?
Yeah, has to. has to. That's the next question. And he's somebody that is absolutely bang in form. Plus, that he obviously has built up his strength. Micheál Houlihan, who was, you remember in your time with Kilmallock, was quite a light, will-o'-the-wisp type of player, but now he's suddenly a man, and he's suddenly more of the generation that went before him. He, well able to mind himself out there, and certainly he's somebody that John will certainly be looking at, I would imagine, because in my opinion, and I've seen quite a lot of the games of the championship, just like yourself, to me he's the standout player of the championship so far. Now, I don't know whether you agree, Jack, but I think Micheál Houlihan has been simply phenomenal.
Yeah, he's definitely been phenomenal for Kilmallock. There's been a few standout players, and we'll see him over the next few weeks as well. But I think for Micheál, he's had Graham Mulcahy beside him his whole career, we'll say, and Graham was gone down injured the first two games. It allows a player like Micheál to take up the mantle as the main man, and even with Graham back to there, it's still Micheál, it's his forward line, and look, he's taken his chance brilliantly so far. I think he's into double figures for points per play this year, and for a free taker you can often get lost in the game jogging around the field to take frees, but for him, he's all over the field for him. And as you said, he's a man now, he's really bulked up, and the physicality on show here today has been brilliant. But as we get ready for the second half, I'm still not going to call it.
And it's Tom Ryan who's going straight into the middle of the field, and it looks like Michael Keane who has left us. And it's going to be a big half an hour for both these sides. One side is going to exit the Limerick Senior Championship at quarter-final stage by the time we finish here in hopefully over about 30 minutes time, but don't rule out extra time, of course, as John O'Halloran gets us underway for the start of the second half. And it's Aaron Costello will be taking up that mantle of marking Thomas Ryan, and here's the man we've spoken so much about just a couple of moments ago, getting it along the ground to John Hickey, and well, Hickey's fouled and does well, calling Anthony Nash from the goal for this one. So David O'Neill looking to leave it to Nash to come right into the midfield, and it's a good start for Liberties. Just looking at that breeze, it stayed fairly significant as I look at the tricolour down to our right hand side, and it's blowing right into the face of Anthony Nash as he comes forward here.
Yeah, Jerry, it was swirling around a bit in the first half, but it seems to be blowing straight in from the Clare now down to the city, and as you said, and even look at the flags on the pitch side, it'll be blowing straight into the face of Anthony Nash. Anthony Nash won't be cut for distance here. It's whether he can find the target.
Well, it's a fair strike, and I can tell you that's good. Anthony Nash has put South Liberties back into that 3-point advantage. A super score from him on 31 minutes, and the free well won by John Hickey puts the South Liberties men 2-9 to 12 to the good, as the puck out comes long from Barry Hennessy down to Gavin O'Mahony, off to Graham Mulcahy, on is going Oisin O'Reilly, but Mulcahy goes himself and he puts it in and over the bar, and there was a dangerous run there from Oisin O'Reilly. It wasn't spotted by Mulcahy, and we're on 2-9 to 13 now, as Anthony Nash looks forward. 31 and a half minutes gone here in the Gaelic grounds as he coming down on top of Paddy O'Brien. That's a super puck out from Anthony Nash. He gets to the far 45. Dan Joy coming out to Robbie Hanley, to Micheál Houlihan, looking Shane O'Neill straight in the eyes, and then stepping past is Houlihan, breaks the 45. He's clipped from behind in the feet by Tom Ryan, and Houlihan wins the free that I'm sure he'll stand over himself in just a matter of moments, as we look down, and it looks like Barry Nash carrying a little bit of an injury from the last play, and he's getting some treatment there, as Micheál Houlihan is going to have a go at this one. I'm keeping an eye on Barry Nash as well, and the magic spray Matt O'Callaghan onto the back of that left hamstring.
Yeah, that's something that South Liberties can certainly do without, because we have seen the impact of Barry Nash in the first half. Meanwhile, Micheál Houlihan makes no mistake.
Well, it's 2-9 to 14 now. Starts to descend here on the Gaelic grounds. It's been one of those winter days. It's only October, but it's certainly got a winter feel here as Robbie Hanley takes the hand on the ball. It's coming down rather heavy now into Aaron Costello to Oisin O'Reilly in acres of space. O'Reilly strikes and shoots, and O'Reilly has the accuracy, and that is a majestic point from Oisin O'Reilly. He's third of the afternoon, 2-9 to 15 now in Kilmallock, within touching distance, just 3 minutes into the second half.
You can see the strength of the breeze there with Oisin's strike, just eased it over. There was no real backswing or anything, just eased it over. The wind is really going to play its part in this half.
Ken Burns racing with Mark O'Loughlin. Ball breaks past both of them as Liam English, I thought he was fouled. Play on, says the referee. It's Mark O'Loughlin hitting it low to the aforementioned English. He's got a lot of hoop jerseys around him. It's back to O'Loughlin. Will he have to go back to Barry Hennessy? He won't. He decides to put Hurley on the ball and hit it long. Hope that it'll get to where it needs to. It's Davy O'Neill who's won it, or it's David Gary in fact who's won it. On to David O'Neill who's there now on the right side. Great hook from Philip O'Loughlin as Mark, brother to Philip, plays to Kevin O'Donnell. Will he have to go long? Look at this for space in front of Gavin O'Mahony. I see one Kilmallock forward joining him, and that's Graham Mulcahy. O'Mahony's in and out, but he's pulled it too much to the right, and there was waiting to be a big cheer there. Matt O'Callaghan didn't come from Gavin.
Gavin did everything right there, and he showed us how he was able to get possession in a very, very tight situation. But unfortunately, his attempted goal, mainly over his shoulder, just tailed a little bit wide. Gavin will be disappointed with it.
Good movement up here as Anthony Nash decides to get it down, but Robbie Hanley is more than aware to it, battling with Tom Ryan, and it's Ryan who has it with the blue helmet, loses possession. Hanley coming forward, All-Ireland medal winner just a number of weeks ago with Limerick, of course. Off to David Wolfe, who's been quiet this afternoon, to Kevin O'Donnell. Time to plant a foot to Oisin O'Reilly. Have we point number 4 on the way? It looks like we have, and Anthony Nash stands disgusted because Oisin O'Reilly has clipped his 4 point from centre forward, and that is a super score. I make that number 4 in a row since Anthony Nash's point from a free in the opening minute of that second half.
And very significantly, Ger, it puts Kilmallock into the lead very, very early in the second half. But we did notice that the last day against Ballybrown in particular, that Oisin O'Reilly, after suffering probably a small bit of a dip in form in 2019 and 2020, or certainly he didn't reach the 2018 standards, Oisin O'Reilly is capturing the type of form that made him an All-Ireland winner in 2018. He's made a huge impact in this game so far, and like you're right there, he has sent over, is it 4 points at this stage, which all from play, absolutely fantastic.
I remember him back in Newcastle West in 2016 in the opening round of the championship that year against All-Ireland champions the Piershig. He bagged 2-3 on his debut in corner forward. He gave a fantastic performance, and reliving some of that form here this afternoon at centre forward. It's into the inside line there, and it's Kilmallock dealing with it well. Mark O'Loughlin under pressure, under huge pressure. Tom Ryan wins it back, his team behind, opting to have a go. It's a good shot from Tom Ryan, and that's a great score from Thomas Ryan, and one that was badly needed from the South's point of view. 36 and a half minutes now, and 2-10 to 16 as we play a draw game in the Gaelic grounds. The change is going to happen sometime soon. The vital point in the match is going to happen. The lead is swinging over and back. It's a draw at the moment. It's Ken Burns way out, off to David Gary, coming forward, breaking the 65. He can shoot. He'll decide to do that. He hits it, but it goes far to the right and wide. Wide number 5 for South Liberties, their first of the second half, as Barry Hennessy again looks down the field. He's got Gavin O'Mahony way down. Shane O'Neill trying to get back in front of him, but he's Micheál Houlihan in front of him, and Hennessy surveying what's there. It looks like Conor McSweeney is the free man, and it's down to the edge of the D. Mahoney comes, it breaks off the hurley of McSweeney, but it's the Cork goalkeeper, former Cork goalkeeper Anthony Nash, who comes for it. Back to Barry Nash, on now to Brian Ryan. Runners coming, it's Tom his brother that he gives it to. Off to Shane O'Neill, breaking forward from Robbie Hanley, looking to get his inside line on it. To the ground is David O'Neill, just on these conditions, but Liam English does well. O'Neill holds it up as Brian Gary comes. Gary getting his hand in possession now, trying to steal a march inside, looking for a free. He wins a free. He's been held there by Kieran O'Connor and Liam English, and it looks like Liberties are going to go back into the lead, Matt O'Callaghan.
It does. It looks at it's a free that you would nearly back Brian Ryan all day to put this one over. It's a very, very important free for Liberties in that it is important, because the longer the half goes on, the longer that they stay in it, and the longer that they can keep maybe their noses in front, like, it will instill a certain amount of doubt into Kilmallock, and they will grow in confidence if they're matching Kilmallock, and like if they're with them going down the home straight, it really is game on.
Yeah, Liberty seem to adjust into the wind there as well. You saw Anthony Nash into Barry Nash, off to Brian Ryan, to Tom Ryan, back to Shane O'Neill, and into the corner then. Like, with the wind there, you can't be hitting it long, and they've adjusted. It's a bad miss there by Brian. He'll admit it themselves, and it's still level.
Well, Matt O'Callaghan said earlier that when you are the underdog, you need to take every advantage, and that should have been one that was taken, as Ken Burns intercepts a pass from the Kilmallock rear guard. It's coming forward now. This is Barry Nash in space. Goals opening up. Nash scores for it! And there he goes! That is a super score from Barry Nash. Into the bottom left-hand corner with pace and power. It's Liberties back in the lead, 3-10 now to 16, and that is just a shot across the Kilmallock bow.
Yeah, this could be a serious score. And a few minutes ago, Jerry, you were mentioning that possibly the defining score could be about to come. Now the real challenge is to Kilmallock. Twice before in the first half, when they conceded a goal, they came back.
Well, look at that from Oisin O'Reilly. Well, we've been talking about him and how good his form has been. That is as good a response to any score as you'll ever see. Super stuff from the Kilmallock youngster. Just underneath us here, with pressure on him, and back in and over the bar. 2-point game now as Paddy O'Brien wins this puck out. Off to Robbie Hanley, to Aaron Costello. Space in front of him as he steps past Conor McSweeney, looking for a runner. Kevin O'Donnell in space. The advantage is coming. O'Donnell hitting the 21. Ball just hits behind him. Anthony Nash can deal with it, but we come back for the 21-yard free. The foul on Aaron Costello, a clever advantage from John O'Halloran. That should have been a goal, gentlemen.
Should have been a goal, and Kilmallock South Liberties will ask questions as to why the space opened up in front of Aaron Costello like it did at this stage in the game. But we were just wondering, we didn't get time to wonder actually, because Oisin O'Reilly gave us the answer. Now, how would they respond to the third goal? The answer is very, very positive. They're going to have 2 points of the 3 back here now, because you'd back Micheál Houlihan all day to put this over the bar.
Well, there he does it. As we take it down, and it's 18 point of the day for Kilmallock, and that's a fine tally on 41 minutes here. And they'll be hoping to add to that, but those goals keep South Liberties in front as Anthony Nash tries to find Barry to Tom Ryan now. Ryan coming back to Shane O'Neill. Will he try and get it to the inside line? Great challenging from Kilmallock as it's well read by Dan Joy. Out in front of Brian Ryan. Off to Philip O'Loughlin, and judges that ball beautifully. Great hand from Micheál Houlihan away from Owen Quilty. Off the left. Have we a flag? We don't. It's gone to the left hand side and wide, and Micheál Houlihan shows us that he can miss as the puck out is quickly on its way. He is fallible, and it's Shane O'Neill coming into the middle. Good from O'Neill as he plays it low in front of Brian Gary. Lost his footing is Liam English, so Gary has an advantage. Off to Barry Nash. Another chance here. It's gone in. It's a fourth goal for Liberties, and it was Brian Ryan who gave the ball. He gave it to Davy O'Neill, and that is a super score from South Liberties. Brian Gary started the move as Liam English lost his footing. Goals win matches, Jack Neville. Liberties have got 4.
Yeah, and I said in the first half that if South Liberties get 2 more in the second half to be well underway, they have them within 12 minutes. And again, they're taking their chances as they're coming. And David Gary won the ball out in the wing, and it was shouts, goal, goal, goal. Brian Ryan excellent down, and then a finish then from Davy O'Neill, like a super score.
Down the other end, it's Robbie Hanley. Well, Put that in your pipe, because he's got one back for the Kilmallock men. Good score from him. Has been quiet-ish this afternoon, done a lot of tackling around the middle so far. First time we've seen him forward. Brings their tally to 19, as they will be shaking Matt O'Callaghan down there from conceding 4 goals, which was never on the script this afternoon. It's Barry Nash taking the hand off to Tom Ryan. Great challenge from Aaron Costello. Ball is played away, but only to David Wolfe, trying to get the inside men on it. It's Graham Mulcahy. Well, he can bag a goal, I can tell you. He's with Brian Nash, who has him on the outside. Mulcahy coming across, does well, and it's gone to the right hand side and wide. And we've seen, lads, things are starting to turn towards South Liberties in the last few minutes.
Yeah, because as Jack pointed out at half time, like, if were they to get 2 goals like they did in the first half, like, they've got 4 goal scoring opportunities and they've raised 4 green flags. You know, that is being economical with you know, and it's a conversion rate that you'd absolutely die for. But if the water break were to come now without Kilmallock making further inroads into that lead now, you would have to say it could be swinging towards South Liberties.
Well, it's Graham Mulcahy as Kilmallock fighting for their life with Micheál Houlihan. Strikes it from underneath the stand here, and class is permanent. There it goes, Micheál Houlihan. What he's done from place ball, he's done from play, and he's led the charge. We have said it so many times. 4-10 to 20 now. Nothing between these teams as we approach the final few minutes of this quarter. Conor McSweeney off to Shane O'Neill. They'd be advised to move it long now, but they're not. It's short to the middle and it's turned over. It's with Robbie Egan. Kevin O'Donnell in space. David Gary has left him as O'Donnell strikes it, and it's over the crossbar. 3 in a row for Kilmallock since that David O'Neill goal, and their response, Matt O'Callaghan, in every time that they've given away a goal has been fantastic.
Absolutely phenomenal. You know, when they give away the 4th goal there, you'd say, right, you know, can we see the response again? And we sure have. It's a 1 point game now again, and like it's still all to play for. Here comes a chance.
Tom Ryan decides to strike it long, it's going to go to the left hand side and wide. So wide number 7, I make it for South Liberties. Barry Hennessy ready to restart. Good ball from Barry, finding Philip O'Loughlin. Easy enough for Philip as he hits it down on top of Gavin O'Mahony and Mike O'Brien. This is a dangerous probing ball. Coming is Graham Mulcahy. It's across the goal and agonisingly wide. Another great goal chance in this game. Falls a begging, and well, Gavin O'Mahony didn't want to play it, just decided to knock it down. The run off for Graham Mulcahy. The goal chances can be created as Kilmallock move on to wide number 10.
Yeah, that's 10 wides for Kilmallock, and they will be disappointed, especially coming up to the water break. And now we have an attack here from South Liberties. It'll be interesting if this should yield something. It would give them a bit of a foothold going into the final quarter.
And it's Barry Nash coming again. This is the side he can go all the way. Well, he just took it a little bit too far. Barry Hennessy did well. Brian Ryan given the initial pass. Maybe a point would have been a good option there for the Liberties man, as David Wolfe opts to clear, but only as far as Conor McSweeney. Stepping out now, short to Barry Cooney, who's been quiet in the second half, been taken away from him by Kevin O'Donnell, and now is coming Micheál Houlihan, deciding to go. It's going to go short though, as it's taken under the crossbar by Anthony Nash. Nash out to Shane O'Neill. This has been desperately entertaining in the second half. Cross the field to David Gary. Too much. Brian Ryan underneath me doesn't like it. That's Brian Ryan Senior, as supposed to be confused for Brian Ryan Junior, who's on the field of play. It's Oisin O'Reilly going for his 6th of the afternoon with this one, and he's got it, Matt O'Callaghan.
Yeah.
He's got it. His 6th point of the day, and Kilmallock's 4th in a row since the goal from David O'Neill on the 42nd minute. That is a super score from Oisin O'Reilly. Calm, cool, and very much mature.
Absolutely, and it's Kilmallock showing their experience. You must remember, Judd, that there's a lot of that Kilmallock team, 7 or 8 of them out there with 3 county medals in their locker and a Munster medal in their locker. So that brings a certain amount of have very, very important experience, and I think Kilmallock showed all their experience there. But it's still game on. But South Liberties will be disappointed. Like, they have gone 5 points ahead, been hauled back. They've gone 4 points ahead. They've got the goals. They've did everything that has been asked of them, if you like, in many ways. But just a few silly mistakes, giving away a few frees, allowing a bit of space here, there, and immediately after Davy O'Neill's goal, Robbie Handley immediately from the puck out, send over. This is the time you absolutely close everything down when you get a goal and try and hold on to that lead for a while. But they didn't. They relinquished the lead too easily, too often. It has happened on 4 occasions now.
Just looking at my notes from half time, that it's since half time, of course, we were 2-8 to 12 at half time. So right now we're 4-10 to 22. So that's 2-2 for South Liberties and 10 points for Kilmallock in that quarter.
Yeah. That's exactly the fact, and like I did make the point at half time, and you can say what you like about the scoreboard, but you're looking at 22 scores to 14. And like that has to reflect a certain amount of mastery, a certain amount of dominance, and a certain amount of superiority on the part of Kilmallock. Or whatever, not necessarily in this instance it's Kilmallock, but whatever team has got 22 scores to the opposition's 14, they have to have a certain level of mastery.
But goals win games, Matt, and South Liberties, I got 2 in that quarter. There's nothing to say they can't get 2 more, but like for Kilmallock to score 10 points in 1 quarter, I think maybe 2 frees max. Like, it's serious scoring from the Balbec, and this one's going right to the wire, lads.
And it's a puck out to come from the stick of Anthony Nash.
But this performance in the third quarter there by Kilmallock had shades of what Limerick did in the Munster final against Tipperary.
Yeah, definitely, yes.
And we were all waxing lyrical about it, and like a tremendous performance by Kilmallock, especially after the concession of 2 goals inside among it.
And for all that, we're still on a draw game here in the Gaelic grounds as Barry Cooney decides to take it into contact, but it's one back. It's David Wolfe looking up to try and find Gavin O'Mahony. He's like a lone forward up there. Goes over his head. Good defending by Michael O'Brien, just letting it through. Anthony Nash off to Shane O'Neill, long and high down on top of Ken Burns. Does well to keep it in front of him. Does better on his second touch. It's with Brian Ryan now. He can shoot if he wants to. It's going in. Is it going to go over? It's dropping in and over the crossbar, and that is a fabulous score from Brian Ryan. Well, he's shown shades of absolute class this afternoon, and that is one of the moments of the game. 4-11 to 22 now, as Liberties go back in the lead by 1 as the puck out goes long. Route 1, Graham Mulcahy winning it. Gavin O'Mahony now coming to the foot of the break as it's touched away. Aaron Costello racing in. This man can score 2 if he wants to. Off to Micheál Houlihan. This man can definitely score, and that's exactly what he does. I'm running out of things to say, Matt O'Callaghan and Jack Neville, about Micheál Houlihan.
Yeah, as are we. That's 11 for the day from Micheál, 5 from play. And again, the response from Kilmallock every time South Liberties take the lead, Kilmallock are there, and it's only a matter of time before Kilmallock go ahead. So South Liberties need to ensure that if they get ahead, that they stay ahead.
And
it's 32 points. Without labouring the point, it's 32 points now in 3 games, Ger, which is an average of almost 11 points a game. Like, it is simply phenomenal. We have an injury now. Is it? It's
Tom Ryan. So it seems to be a blood injury. So Michael Keane is coming back on the field of play. Mike Keane coming back on the field of play for South Liberties, as it's going to be their puck out. The lead is going from one to the other. Kilmallock may be making a change as well, looking down to see who that might be. John O'Donnell, the Kilmallock club official, coming forward, but nothing's going to happen just yet, as I'm just looking around to see what might happen. Robbie Egan, of course, there among the substitutes, a player of huge experience that could be brought in here, as Anthony Nash goes route 1 from the puck out, down to find his inside forwards, but Philip O'Loughlin equal to the high ball as it's come to Aaron Costello, and David O'Neill was coming to take possession from it and was adjudged to have been pulled by Aaron Costello. Tony Considine not happy with that decision, Matt O'Callaghan?
No, and he's making it known down there. I think it was possibly a tight decision, but again, John O'Halloran was very near it.
Yellow for Aaron Costello as well on the back of that, and this would be Brian Ryan to put Liberties back into the lead with 10 to play in the Gaelic grounds. So it's going to tee it up nicely for the last 5 minutes, or the last 10 minutes I should say, plus, if Brian Ryan was to get it, and indeed he does. And we're 4-12 to 23 now, as Barry Hennessy tells his forwards to push on as Aaron Costello retreats underneath us here towards the South Liberties goal. It's going to come down on top of him. It's broken through to Graham Mulcahy. He's going to turn this way and that. Touched by Shane O'Neill, but play on, says the referee. Mulcahy putting the hurley to it, but it's going to sail to the right. The cheers you hear are that of the Liberties, the South Liberties fans here who've come in numbers to this afternoon's county quarter final. Remember, it's their third appearance here in 4 years. They fell at the last three fences. They're within touching distance. They're a point. 10 minutes to go or so in the Gaelic grounds ahead of the 2014 county champions Kilmallock. Liberties, a club of great tradition, a club with 7 county titles, their last coming in 1978. A long time ago from 2021 as it is at the moment, but it's been led by this man coming. It's Barry Nash, a player of course who's had a tremendous year in the green of Limerick, the present champions as we know, and this man, as Jack Neville said earlier on, possibly going to win an All-Star in the next number of weeks to cap what would be a fantastic year for him in the green of Limerick as Nash cuts it in, but his strike comes off the hurley of a Kilmallock man, and it's Kilmallock who win it back to this man, Oisin O'Reilly. 6 points in play today. O'Reilly going away from the goal. He scored one from here a while ago. Strike not as good into Gavin O'Mahony. His hand goes down. Mike O'Brien, and he's back off to Micheál Houlihan. Man across is Kevin O'Donnell if he can see him. Houlihan on the in line. Good ball across. He sees him now, but so does John Hickey as the ball falls to ground. O'Donnell gets it, coming back looking for a runner out to David Wolfe onto his familiar left hand side. It's dropping, and it's going left and wide, and again the cheers coming, and those are from the South Liberties supporters who have come. 12 wides for Kilmallock, Matt.
12 wides for Kilmallock. No, they will be disappointed. I think that their shooting, which was so fantastic all along, 23 points, which is phenomenal, is beginning to let him down, and I think Tomas Ryan has returned to the action, and Michael Keane has again departed the action. But Ger, we're moving into the last 8 minutes of regulation time, and you know, South Liberties, they have not gone away, look, Kilmallock have to find something. Like the gauntlet is down to Kilmallock at this stage.
24 to 23 here. I stand corrected, as I've been just told Liberty's last county final was in 1981. They did win in 1978. Of course, the 70s was a golden era for those men, winning titles in 72, 76 and 78, and their last county championship coming in 1981. Well, as we said, they're a while away from that now, and they'll be looking to take the next step, which is the county semi-final. They're not quite there yet. They lead though in the final 7 minutes plus in the Gaelic grounds as Barry Nash comes and takes the ball out of the clouds from that puck out from his cousin Anthony. Off to John Hickey. A chance to shoot, does John Hickey. Umpire looks at it though. That's a one that they need to be getting. These chances are rare, and when you come up the field you need to be nailing them, Matt.
Absolutely, and that was a clear-cut chance. Here's Oisin O'Reilly with a chance to level it again.
And Oisin O'Reilly, well, that left hand side has caused trouble this afternoon for Kilmallock. They've found it more often than not. Wide number 13 now. Wide at the left, which is on the far side. Breeze is blowing straight down. Anthony Nash again surveying what's in front of him as John Hickey runs hard to the break. He doesn't need to, because Barry Nash has won it. They just need to get it inside. That's exactly what they do. And it's Ken Burns who's come across, but it's Mark O'Loughlin looking to bring it out, and the foul has been called on Barry Nash underneath us here, and John O'Halloran is going to give a free in on the 21-yard line. This could be a 2-point advantage for South Liberties, and we're beginning to see daylight between the teams.
Yeah, the 2-point lead, of course, a very dangerous lead with 5 minutes to go, Ger, as we have seen so many times in the past. But like South Liberties, and Jack mentioned it earlier in the second half, the way they have adjusted to play against the Breeze, which I think isn't as strong as it was at the start of the second half. I think it has abated somewhat, but the way they have adjusted against it, and full credit to them. And you'd back Brian Ryan all day to make this a 2-point game, and 2 points with 5 minutes to go. It's calling for a big response from Kilmallock.
Well, we said in the third quarter, Kilmallock, they got 10 points. They've only managed one since the resumption of that just 10 minutes ago. So that'll tell you, just 10 minutes, just 1 point in 10 minutes for Kilmallock, and that score came from the stick of Micheál Houlihan as it goes long way down. It's broken inside. Gavin O'Mahony trying to thread it through, but Owen Quilty stands firm, as does Michael O'Brien. It's out to Barry Cooney now. It's Aaron Costello with him for company, playing it in the middle to David O'Neill. It's just touched off of him by Philip O'Loughlin, and the breaks, Jack Neville, just seem to come to South Liberties at the moment.
Yeah, they are coming. Like we'll say, Brian Ryan had a brilliant chance there to put him 2 ahead before the free. He missed that, but Oisin O'Reilly, who's been so accurate today with 6 from play, goes down the other end of the field and misses, and 2 frees in a row here, and it's a huge distance on his own 65. But Anthony Nash is known for this kind of range, and 3-point gap with 4 minutes to play is massive for Liberties if he can nail this one.
We're talking about turning points, Matt. We could be at 1 here, maybe we're past it, but this is a significant moment all the same.
Yeah, I suppose it's a significant moment in the system, like rocking the system, as it were. A significant moment where definitely a team from Section B has closed the gap with Section A.
Well, it's not what we thought it might be. It's gone to the right and wide. It's 9 wides, I reckon. That's their second from a free, as Barry Nash opts to go short this time. Remember, he has the Breeze at his back, but he's gained 20 yards by giving it to Mark O'Loughlin, and it's gone long to Gavin O'Mahony. Off to Oisin O'Reilly. They need something special. He's given it all day. Is this another good score from him? It certainly is. A super score from Oisin O'Reilly. And well, we talk about the baton being handed from the older guard in Kilmallock on. It's happened here this afternoon with the coming of age of Micheál Houlihan and Oisin O'Reilly. It's 25-24. It's 4-13 to 24 points, and that's some score from the Ballbick, but it means they're still behind because the Liberties men, well, they've bagged 4 as giving it off to Tom Ryan. They've got a man ahead. Ryan clips it up high in the air. He could have been a bit more patient because he had Barry Cooney gone inside. Wide number 10, 1 point still in it. Who would rule out extra time at this moment in time? It's Kevin O'Donnell to David Wolfe in space with the Breeze. Wolfe strikes. It looks good from the far side. It is, because the noise comes from there, and Kilmallock have tied it up here, and it's David Wolfe.
What a time to get your first score of the day. Level game with 2 minutes to play.
Well, there was a chance down here, and maybe Liberties should have done better. It's all Kilmallock now. Micheál Houlihan wins it, being followed by Barry Nash. It's Robbie Hanley has it. Great run from Gavin O'Mahony. Have we a point for the lead? It's going to go right. It's going to go wide. And well, Gavin O'Mahony hits the 14th wide of the afternoon for Kilmallock. We're playing a tie. It's the last 2 minutes of play here. Possession now vital. 25-25. I'm correct in saying that. It's down on top of Shane O'Neill. O'Neill wins it off as far as Barry Cooney. The hand pass doesn't go to hand. How games can rest on small margins. It's with Graham Mulcahy. It's to David Wolfe, to Kevin O'Donnell, but the pass is overcooked. It's going to stay in play. Racing back is David Gary. O'Donnell comes inside. A free now would be a huge thing to give away. It's off to Graham Mulcahy. He's favoured on his left. He uses it. He strikes it. He's going for it. It's a flag, and it's Kilmallock to the lead. It's Kilmallock to the lead in the Gaelic grounds. It's 4-13 to 26, and who better to give it to them than Graham Mulcahy?
Yeah, we're talking about Micheál Hoolan and Oisin O'Reilly all day, but if there's one man that Kilmallock want on the ball with the ball 65 off from goal, it's always going to Graham Mulcahy. He makes no mistake. Kilmallock lead.
And a sub coming for Liberties. It looks like Brendan McSweeney it's going to come in here. And Shane O'Neill, Matt O'Callaghan had done so well from the puck out. He caught it, he offloaded to Barry Cooney, but a super interception from Philip O'Loughlin.
Yeah, slightly undercooked maybe, but it was, yeah, and we haven't mentioned Philip today, but Philip is the captain of Kilmallock. But he has been absolutely immense out there in his own quiet way there. Absolutely has been terrific. Has made a number of very important interceptions, particularly in the first half.
Well, Liberties are deep in the Kilmallock half, and it's Brendan McSweeney looking to try and move it on, but out is coming Liam English now. Gives it back to Paddy O'Brien. He's well under serious pressure from Tom Ryan. Back as far as Dan Joy. That's super working from Liberties, but too hard, says John O'Halloran. And it's going to be an advance of 10 yards for just saying a little bit more than they should have. Tony Considine on the field of play now, looking to urge and drive his charges on. They're in a battle, I can tell you, but more importantly, they're ahead in a battle, 25-26, a game in which they trail for most of it. But like the Ballybrown game in their championship win the last time out, they came late to win it, and it's looking similar here. We're in stoppage time in the Gaelic grounds. It's Barry Hennessy just inside his 45. Breeze at his back. Will he have the distance here? He'll try it very much so. He'll strike it well. Are we the 27 point? We haven't. It's gone to the left and wide. It's gone to the right and wide. Kilmallock's 15th wide of the afternoon. Matt O'Callaghan opens another pages of notes as we're going to have one more twist in the Gaelic grounds. Maybe we won't, says Robbie Hanley. Hanley catches it, he steps over the line, and Jonathan Hayes says that it's going to be a sideline ball to South Liberties, much to the annoyance of Tony Considine, the man of course who was involved in those great Clare teams way back. Guided Kilmallock to a county championship, guided the Bouncers to a county championship, and looking to get Kilmallock back to the last four of the Limerick Senior Hurling Championship. They're within touching distance. 61 minutes and 39 seconds gone. It's Thomas Ryan, a man who's known to have gotten late scores in games down through his career. He's got to try and cut this in around the square. Maybe he can cut it over. It would bring the game to some sort of extra time. He's heavily bandaged around his head inside under that helmet. The cut is good. It's inside. It's broken beyond the couple. It's Kevin O'Donnell who's going to come forward. He races out. He puts put the ball to the Hurley, and he strikes it long down to Oisin O'Reilly. Brian Nash gets it away from him. Off to John Hickey, to Tom Ryan. He's against the breeze. He decides to go for it. Ryan is striking. It's coming to the edge. Will it drop? It'll drop. That's a super score from Tom Ryan from his own 65. It's a score that could well bring us to extra time in the Gaelic grounds. 4:14-26, 62 and a half minutes gone, but we're still playing, says John O'Halloran. It's long. Oisin O'Reilly might have a chance. Brian Nash, who's been a solid out this afternoon, looks to give it to Ken Burns. There's Kilmallock bodies over there. Who's fitter now? Well, both teams very much in it here. It's the Liberties man who has it. It's lost. It's in the middle, and we're on the final whistle, and in dramatic circumstances it's been 26-4-14, one of the games of the championship so far. What about that, Jack Neville, for the last 5 minutes?
Well, I don't know about you, Jar and Matt, but I'm happy to see these teams better for another 20 minutes. I mean, from the very first minute you could not call this game. The players out there have given everything, and you look at both sides, there's been some exceptional performances. We spoke about Micheál Hoolan and Oisin O'Reilly for Kilmallock, then for South Liberties, like Barry Nash is coming to his own, Anthony Nash, but even Dave O'Neill with 2 goals, Ken Burns with that goal. Like, there's been stars throughout the field, and I'm more than happy to see these teams go at it for another 20 minutes, lads.
Well, what about that for a score from Tom Ryan, Matt O'Callaghan, against the breeze?
Against the breeze, a big score required, a big player stands up and delivers it. Absolutely, that's you could hardly script it, but it was an excellent score by Tom Ryan. But Tom Ryan has been a huge influence on the South Liberties team in the second half. He has worked so hard out around the middle. There has been a steadying influence. All right, he had a chance there earlier on which went astray, but certainly he stood up to the plate, and he just looked up, and it took courage in the circumstances to go for it, Jar. he went for it and got it and absolutely nailed it. And like you have mentioned a couple of times about it being game on, it's still game on. It has to be. Like who the extra time will favour, it will be very, very. We're in for a very, very interesting 20 minutes.
Yeah, was a couple of chances on both sides, and we said throughout, like, you know, Kilmallock hitting 15 wides, over 10 of those coming in the second half, you know, and then Liberties had a few chances here as well, rushed the blood to head, lacked a little bit of composure. So it's fair to say both sides could have won this and could have won it by 2 or 3 more.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. But Ger, 26 points in 60 odd minutes of hurling is a phenomenal amount of scores. Like we've seen some phenomenal individual performances out there. Like we spoke about Michal Houlihan, we spoke about Oisin O'Reilly. Like Robbie Hanley has been terrible effective at midfield. We mentioned it there late in the game about how effective and how much from the front that Philip O'Loughlin was exerting, how much influence he was exerting in the game. And like we saw a very, very busy performance from Kevin O'Donnell in his first start in the championship this year. We haven't seen as much of Graham Mulcahy as we would have liked, and I think that the Kilmallock supporters haven't seen as much of Kilmallock of Graham Mulcahy as they would have liked. But you just wonder at this stage, is extra time set up for Graham Mull?
And well, extra time can be unusual. It can go one of two ways. It can be very tight, or one team can come and just run away with it, and we've seen that happen so many times. Who will it suit? It's a very hard question to answer right now, isn't it?
I can't answer that question, I'm afraid. Jack now might go somewhere towards answering it, but I certainly couldn't. But like Jack's point is absolutely right about South Liberty's ability to get goals, and were they to get a goal, the trouble with South Liberty's, the goals were fantastic. And they were all well taken, and Barry Hennessy couldn't be held responsible for any of them. But you just wonder, had one of them come just before half time or just before a water break, when Kilmallock wouldn't have had the time to immediately respond, we just wonder, would they, have made greater impact from a South Liberties point of view? But that's something now that we can only guess, because at the times that they came, Kilmallock had plenty time to respond, and Kilmallock didn't have to press the panic button at any time. The only time that Kilmallock really had to press the panic button or go near the panic button was when they fell 2 points behind coming on the home straight there.
Yes.
When Brian Ryan put over those 2 frees, it looked bleak for Kilmallock there for a couple of minutes, but again they found the response. But the thing about it is, Ger, they've only led briefly for once in the game. Like, they have found the response to catch up, but they haven't found the response to go ahead and stay ahead. And so that must be a worry for Tony Considine. But you're right in what your analysis of what you say about extra time. They're a funny beast, extra time. It's a funny animal now. Yeah. You can get more of the same, but unfortunately, very often you don't get more of the same, and very often it's the favourites. Yep. That the form that sort of deserted them and has landed them into extra time. That is they that come good. But look, I think it's all to play for. This South Liberties team are going nowhere, and we were wondering during the week, and Jack and I discussed it on the podcast about the closing of the gap between Section A and Section B. Very good. And we were wondering who would do it, or would it be done, or would we eventually get a Section B team picking up a quarter-final win over a Section A team. I think the gap has been, South Liberties have certainly closed the gap there. Would you agree, Jack? Yeah,
they've definitely. And that performance there, like, if they put in that performance against any team in the county, it'll take them a long way. Now, whether they can sustain it for another 20 minutes, I don't know, but hunger will have to be huge in South Liberties. As Ger pointed out a while ago, it's the 4th quarter-final since 2009 and have yet to get over the line. And for Kilmallock, they're going for 10 in a row, and they will have that hunger, because it's a different team to the team in 2012 that started that remarkable run for Kilmallock. But hunger has to be there for South Liberties. They'll have to be more hungry, because Kilmallock, from playing at this level for a lot longer,
we'll have that extra bit in the tank. It's just natural. Whereas South Liberties will have to dig that bit deeper. But in saying that, like, when Oisin O'Reilly put Kilmallock ahead eventually in this game, they bounced back straight away. They got that point. They got ahead. So they've shown that they can come back from behind. And realistically, neither team has taken the game when they got ahead. So I don't know how you're going to call this one, lads, but like...
Jack has been mentioning about the goals and goals winning games, and we've spoken about Anthony Nash and the impact of Anthony Nash. Really, Kilmallock haven't tested Anthony Nash as a stopper.
He had no save. He had no save to make in the game.
You know,
yeah.
So that may be a worry, a slight worry for Tony Considine, or whether Kilmallock were just happy to take the points, you know, or said to themselves, are we going to beat this fella, like? But, you know.
Yeah, one other interesting thing that I've just noticed here, looking, South Liberties used one sub. They brought on Brendan McSweeney there, pretty much, right on injury time. Kilmallock have used no sub. Now, as we go on into another 20 minutes of play here, fitness is going to be crucial. And, like, the fresher player, or the fresher players, are going to have to, really show themselves here. What does it say about maybe Brian Ryan and Tony Considine in terms of their bench, that they didn't make a change in that final quarter? Was it maybe they didn't get a chance, or maybe they were holding, or because like a couple of fresh players here could make a huge difference? And Robbie Egan wasn't starting today, but he's someone of huge experience that they could use.
Yeah, but your point is absolutely valid, Ger, but they got plenty of reason in the final quarter to bring in if they had potential game changers. But you just wonder what game changers are there. Like Tom Ryan has been sprung from the bench.
Sorry, two subs. Yeah, Liberties have used two, Tom and Brendan McSweeney. I forgot about Thomas.
And Brendan McSweeney. Now they would be the first two go-to players that you would go for in the South Liberties bench. Looking over at the Kilmallock bench there, that has already been stripped of Dan Joy and Graham Mulcahy. Now, who are they going to bring in at this stage? Are they going to bring in Conor Staunton, or who are they going to bring in? I just simply don't know. Well,
it's Aaron Costello leading the charge here as we begin the second or the first period of extra time here, and he'd have probably been advised to knock that one over, even though they're playing against the breeze now. So it's Liberties with the breeze for this opening 10-minute salvo here of extra time. It's Brendan McSweeney making his way out in front of Kieran O'Connor. First touch just leaving him down, and McSweeney, he's been lost possession, but it's been taken away from him by Micheál Houlihan. Going to be a sideline ball to South Liberties. Tom Ryan coming forward, the man that has put us to extra time. Of course, it was his point a number of minutes ago that levelled proceedings in the Gaelic grounds. The Tuss Gaelic grounds, of course, recently renamed. And, it's Tom Ryan with the breeze behind him. If he was to get a good connection on this, he's about 60 yards out. Connection is not too bad. Paddy O'Brien equal to it. Off to Micheál Houlihan. Second hand pass to Graham Mulcahy. Well, he's way back from where he was earlier on. Into Oisin O'Reilly, who seems to have gone into that inside line, but broken away from him by Owen Quilty. And naturally enough, the pace of the game here is going to dip a little bit as the ball comes across the field. John Hickey is here with Graham Mulcahy, and good experience from Mulcahy, but too much experience, says John O'Halloran. And it's going to be a free to Anthony Nash, as John O'Donnell speaks to Liam O'Sullivan, our sideline official here. Maybe there's a change coming for Kilmallock, because there seems to be a bit of paperwork happening. But at the moment it's Anthony Nash, just inside the 40, outside the 45, striking it. It's coming all the way. Oh, and that's a super score from Anthony Nash. And he gives us our first score in extra time. So after 2 minutes of play in additional time, extra time, we have Anthony Nash on the score sheet for South Liberties as the puck out comes quick to Micheál Houlihan into the edge of the square, broken down inside, and it's Brian Nash coming out to Shane O'Neill, looking for someone off his shoulder. This person is Conor McSweeney, charging out now, trying to get past Graham Mulcahy as he hits the ball with the aid of the breeze. Down to Brian Gary. Is he being held? No, he's not. Dan Joy, a good defender back there. Another good defender is Mark O'Loughlin to Barry Hennessy. Rear guard for Kilmallock Kilmallock, nice and solid in this opening couple of minutes. Micheál Houlihan in good space, playing a crossfield ball to Oisín O'Reilly, and O'Reilly, if he gets it to hand, well, he's going to be in danger, and it's that's where he has it now, stepping back into the middle, has to hit it off to Hurley, decides to give it to Graham. Graham is coming low to Kevin O'Donnell. Do they think there's more on here? No, they don't, says O'Donnell. I'll put it over the bar and I'll level it up. Kevin O'Donnell, 3 minutes in.
All the experience there showing Oisín O'Reilly. Firstly, he wasn't in a great position to Graham Mulcahy. He saw Kevin O'Donnell, who's in a better position, and that just shows the experience. Kilmallock and level game again.
And a good hand from Kieran O'Connor there, 4:15 to 27, as ball is off to Micheál Houlihan, and he strikes it, but it's going to go way out. Wide number 16 for Kilmallock. Brian Ryan issuing instructions underneath us here. Of course, the UL Fitzgibbon Cup manager didn't get to put his charges into championship last year over COVID, but we'll hope to do so in the next number of weeks, as UL, a team always backed and loaded with stars, will hope to gather a Fitzgibbon Cup this year again. This academic year, as the puck out has gone over the sideline at the far side of the field. Paddy O'Brien happy to slow things right down, and now David Gary being instructed to go right across there and pick up Micheál Houlihan, get tight to him as the instruction, as Mark O'Loughlin looks to cut this one out from his full-back berth. It's Liam English and Brian Gary, they're at a home inside there, kind of in a one-on-one, and it's Micheál Houlihan. Well, he has it now, striking it low. This is a super ball for Oisín O'Reilly, but what an excellent touch from Brian Nash, and what another excellent touch from this Oisín O'Reilly. A bit of you did, I did there, as Barry Cooney has it now, taking a challenge from Aaron Costello, off to Ken Burns, back into the middle to David Gary, on to Brendan McSweeney. If he can get a hand, it goes past him, and it's Dan Joy retreating. Is it going to go dead? No, it's not. Barry Hennessy has it. Bounce pass out as far as Paddy O'Brien, looking for the runner. He gets it. It's Mark O'Loughlin steadying his feet as he tries to find Gavin O'Mahony, who's rushing outward from the goal. It's Michael O'Brien with him. A crossfield ball coming, but Shane O'Neill has read it well. The breeze has held it up. He's got Anthony Nash behind. He opts to go back to the goalkeeper, and Nash decides to start proceedings by giving it out to Barry Cooney. The touch is good, but it's too good because Aaron Costello has won it. Graham Mulcahy in an acre of space. Kilmallock to lead by a point, and that's exactly what they do. Kilmallock go back into the lead here, 28 points to 4:15, and well, the tiredness just showing. The space is beginning to open up, Jack.
Yeah, you can definitely see the tiredness is coming into play, and look, you wouldn't disrespect any of these players. They've played over nearly 70 minutes now at this stage. An excellent contest so far, and Graham Mulcahy is slowly getting into the game. He's third point of the day, but still very evenly poised here.
And well, news just reaching us here at the second quarter final. The meeting of Patrick Swell and Adair, those near neighbours, will be now at 4:20. 4 o'clock throw in, of course, was scheduled, but as the rain descends here in the first half of extra time between Liberties and Kilmallock, it's 4:15 to 28. That's Kilmallock by 1. It's being entertaining, just to say the least. It was a Tom Ryan point that brought us here, as Anthony Nash with the breeze at his back. He scored one in extra time already. He has distance. Has he accuracy? He doesn't. It goes to the left hand side and wide number 11 now for South Liberties, and that's their first in this period of extra time, as the rain buckets down here in Limerick, and it's getting heavier. Thankfully we're high in the McMackey stand, well protected and well covered, as Aaron Costello is right underneath us, takes a super ball. Costello moving forward, would be fancy to score. He strikes it, but it goes outside to the right hand side and wide. One Matt O'Callaghan, he should have been getting.
Yeah, he'll be very disappointed with that, because he won possession very well, made the space for himself, but when he's running, Aaron Costello, we've seen it a couple of times in the game, the space seems to open up in front of him. Now, Barry Nash had an opportunity there, but was well blocked down by the Kilmallock defence. Well,
Paddy O'Brien stands resolute in front of the face of Nash, who's tired a little bit. Why wouldn't he? He's been superb so far. Graham Mulcahy going to run at Conor McSweeney. He's won a free. He'll take the free. And again, showing all of his experience there, Graham Mulcahy hitting it inside. Well, the Liberties defenders were back in numbers, decided to take it to contact, and just won the free, as it's absolutely thundering down here in the Gaelic grounds now as Micheál Houlihan. Well, this is going to be the ultimate test of his free-taking abilities, Matt.
Absolutely. The rain is coming straight into his face, and is what just inside the 65, but it's a very, very difficult free in very, very difficult prevailing conditions at the moment.
Houlihan strikes as the umpire goes for it. He's put it over the crossbar. And, well, he puts breathing space between the teams again now.
You can't help but think that at this stage, playing into the breeze in this first 10 minutes, that Kilmallock are now getting a grip in it. They're ahead by 2 points for the first time in the game, and they're pretty well dominating it. But we have a free here now to South Liberties, and they'll have to try and conjure up something with what, less than 90 seconds of regulation time to the half time in extra time. And it's Thomas Ryan that is gearing up, I think, to take this one. It's a line ball, actually.
And you would have felt, exactly as you said, Matt, that if they were to have an advantage, Liberties would want to have been going in after having the breeze in this opening 10 with the advantage, but they don't have it. It's Kilmallock who've stood firm as the rainbow shines over the uncovered stand as the cut comes from Thomas Ryan in as far as Mark O'Loughlin, trying to come out there through a flood of the bodies, and it's Paddy O'Brien. He gets it nice and tight and tidy from Kilmallock to Kevin O'Donnell. He's hurled a lot of it this afternoon, but his pass has been intercepted, and it's Brian Ryan looking to win it on the floor with Shane O'Neill, but Kilmallock win it back. Aaron Costello again looking around for another Kilmallock player to give it to that was a super ball from Robbie Hanley off to David Wolfe. Time and space in his hands, and it's wide, says Anthony Nash. Is it going to be wide? It is wide. Acting as umpire as well as goalkeeper, wide number 18 for Kilmallock.
And David Wolfe was the first to know that it was going wide, because he shook his head and the body language gave it all away that he knew he had missed the target. 27-29. Liberties are behind by 2, or Kilmallock ahead by 2, whichever way you want to look at it, wherever you're watching it this afternoon. And it's Liberties who have gone a bit absent there as the Nash's puck out is caught, and it's driven back in from Graham Mulcahy, wide number 19 for Kilmallock for this afternoon. That's one that Graham would have fancied to put up over in any other day, as we're on half time. 29 points and 19 wides is 48 scoring chances as John O'Halloran blows the half time in extra time. I should say, George, just at this point, there's very, very sad news coming through that a great GAA man has passed in the shape of Dave McCarthy of Glenroe, has passed away today. So we'd like to extend our sympathy to, first of all, to his wife Mary, and to his sons Dermot, Justin, Stephen, David, who was the Limerick goalkeeper in 2015, and his daughter Marie, and his sisters, and indeed the entire Glenroe GA club and the entire Glenroe community. He was an absolute stalwart of the community. He hasn't been well for the last 6 weeks, but he sadly passed on today, and we extend our deepest sympathy to the McCarthy family.
And we all echo that. Indeed, a proud sporting club is Glenroe, and of course defeat yesterday afternoon in the Premier Intermediate Championship, but I'm sure that'll be a lesser felt loss than the loss of
certainly will, and even though he was seriously ill for the last 6 or 7 weeks, he attended all 3 games in the group stages, so right to the finish. He was involved and engrossed in the club, and the contribution that he has made to the club will become evident in the coming days, I'm sure, but there are only some adjectives that can describe it, and they would be probably enormous, massive, gigantic, huge, a huge loss, first of all to his family, and indeed to the GA community and the wider community in Glenroe.
And we extend our sympathies to the McCarthy family as we're going to have the final 10 minutes of this quarter-final here. It's Kilmallock in the lead. Interestingly enough, it was Gavin O'Mahony who we heard speaking down there to these Kilmallock Chargers, and it was just about grit and determination. Get a hurley in, get a body in was the message. They know that even with that breeze, they still have to put in a big shift here for 10. Liberties trudging back to their positions. They are going to face the breeze in this final 10 minutes. They're behind by 2. The spaces are opening up. Jack Neville, if you had money now, you'd probably put it on Kilmallock.
You would put it on Kilmallock, but I wouldn't bet against South Liberties from what they've shown today. And I think you summed up there when you said trudging back onto the field. Like I don't think anyone has a spring in their step after this game. Looking down the sideline, Dave O'Neill is looking to come back on. He got a goal already. He's coming on now. If he could get another goal, that would certainly swing momentum. But from here, as you said, it's just about grit and determination. Like these lads are going to be sore tomorrow. That's inevitable. Now it's about 10 more minutes to get into a semi-final of the county, and you can deal with the pain tomorrow.
Well, Ken Burns, off he goes, and it's David O'Neill back on. A lot of experience in David O'Neill, teacher in Nina CBS there in County Tipperary. And, well, he will add to this now, and he's had his rest. He was on, of course, in the opening stages as the Kilmallock are attacking. Gavin O'Mahony looking over his shoulder, but he didn't need to. He turned not onto his favoured right hand side, but he got on there all the same. And Gavin O'Mahony has put Kilmallock further ahead here as we have no delay as the puck out comes, and it's about seeing it out now for the Kilmallock men. The sting has kind of gone out of this game. Liberties need to do something soon, or it will have moved away from him as John Hickey is fouled in possession there, and it's going to be a free, and a free in is coming to the Kilmallock or the South Liberties men. So Gavin O'Mahony.
Yeah, I'm sure at this stage, Ger, that Brian Ryan will take his point rather than drop it in, because we still have a full 9 minutes of play left, and particularly he's hitting it into the breeze, which again, because of the shower there a while ago, isn't as strong. It seems to abate in between showers. Meanwhile, Kilmallock are readying Robbie Egan down here under us as Brian Ryan sends that one high. And over
yes,
the bar.
It's going over the bar. So we're back in it again. Brian Ryan making it 28 points to 30, still 2 between them. And, 4-16, 30 points. Fair shooting in any game of hurling, let me tell you that. Puck out is coming. This could be a chance opening up here as Brian Nash gets back. Last ditch defending. It's still not cleared. And John Hickey, it's up in the air. It's Graham Mulcahy who pulls it out into the net. And that's a super score from Mulcahy. A poacher's goal if ever I saw one. John Hickey went down to put it in his hand. The ball just got away from him, and Graham Mulcahy pulls it to the back of the net. The goal that they were waiting for, Jack. And I think that could be very well that, even though we're only 2 minutes into the second period of the 10 minutes.
Yeah, there's still some time for South Liberties, but just touching on Kilmallock there, we spoke about the young lads in the first half, but there you saw Gavin O'Mahony getting the first score of this half, and Graham Mulcahy getting a goal to go 2 points in the first period of extra time. So the experience is really telling here for the Ballybeg, and South Liberties are really against it now, but they do have some time.
And they've given away a free here. Have South Liberties just struggling now in the last minute or two to get their hands on the ball as we watch the Kilmallock men ready to clear their lines. Robbie Hanley readying himself down here to come onto the field of play as players just begin to stretch out. There's cramp coming. Tom Ryan going to make his way into the notebook of John O'Halloran, not methinks. And yes, indeed, we see a yellow. And it's from the Brewery referee to the number 17 for South Liberties is Barry Hennessy. Breeze at his back. He could favour this. As we look down, we see there might be another substitute in the South Liberties team. As Barry goes short to Paddy O'Brien. Will he have to go long? He will. And it's a good strike. Will it drop inside? No, it won't. Wide number 20 now for Kilmallock. They've got 130. And they've had 20 wides. So that'll tell you quite dominant in terms of hurling match. We've played 73 odd minutes, 50 shots.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the point I made there a while ago. And in the meantime, we have Ronan Butler is coming into the game in place of Brian Ryan, who is gone off and seems to be carrying an injury.
Well, I'd say it's severe cramp at this stage. There's lots of players just beginning to stretch out. Ronan Butler has been absent from the Liberties team for a number of years due to injury, but good to see him back on the field of play. It's Graham Mulcahy getting this one across to Gavin O'Mahony. Oisin O'Reilly looking to peel off him. Mahony's got space and time, and that is just vintage Gavin O'Mahony. the man who led Kilidi to a victory in the Junior A Hurling Championship on Friday night over at Kiel. He's coaching the team back there this year, and he comes on Sunday afternoon, and well, that's as good a point as you'll see, as he just got a little bit of room to clip that one over. Puck out is long, and again it hits the floor. Shane O'Neill fouled. Great score from Gavin O'Mahony, Matt.
Yeah, fantastic score, and we were speaking about him there earlier on, and this is what he brings to the table. Like when extra time you need your big players to stand up, and certainly we have seen it, as you rightly flagged, from both Gavin O'Mahony and from Graham Mulcahy, taking an absolutely opportunist goal. So Graham Mull will be absolutely delighted. It's his first outing in the championship, so he will have benefited so much from it going into the semi-final next weekend.
And it's Barry Cooney there trying to get it away. Garen Costello doing well, and Kieran O'Connor adjudged to have chopped on Tom Ryan. So we're going to have a free in. Tom Ryan, does he put it over? Probably does.
Yeah.
I think putting over is the best option this far out from the game. Yeah, that's what he does.
And he does. Tom Ryan putting himself on the score sheet in additional time. 4:17, 1:31. Some score in a game of hurling. As we play 15 and a half minutes here. It's about 5 minutes they're on to play as Kilmallock are attacking, and it's Gavin O'Mahony who was adjudging to a foul Mike O'Brien there, and maybe the conditions contributed to that slip. Maybe not. I don't think Kilmallock are overly fussed, as Anthony Nash has been shown by Jonathan Hayes where exactly he's got to take this free from, and it's Killian Hayes, it looks like, who's going to come on. And of course Kilmallock have the little matter of the relegation semi-final from the Premier or the Ordinary Intermediate Championship a little bit later on this evening, playing Fiona Castleman. As David Wolfe, is it? It's making his way off. Yes, it is. So Killian Hayes for David Wolfe. And David Wolfe, a Limerick under 23 seasons ago.
But Killian Hayes has been promoted earlier, so he's not a loss to the intermediate team as such. He was intended to be on the intermediate team, but was promoted during the group stages of the championship. So this is his second, if not third, appearance in the championship so far.
Kevin O'Donnell taking a heavy knock there as ball is played down. Play on, says the referee, and again Mike O'Brien does well. Now to Conor McSweeney. Lots of endeavour there, not a lot of hurling, because again bodies are tired. It's Paddy O'Brien gets back and again swings around out of the tackle. Good pass from Kieran O'Connor off to Aaron Costello. Loads of space in front of Oisin O'Reilly to my right, but that's a super challenge from John Hickey as Brendan McSweeney joins him in there trying to retrieve possession, and it's anyone's ball, and it's Brendan McSweeney who pops it off to David O'Neill, and it's hit the ground again. As we said, it's difficult hurling at the moment. The rain has been substantial here in this second half here in the Gaelic grounds, as Tom Ryan just fouls Graham Mulcahy, and John O'Halloran sensible enough, just telling things to relax. So I think it might be Stephen Quirk who's coming out to come on the field of play. Aaron Costello looks like he may have an injury. 17 and nearly 18 minutes gone. 4:17 to 1:31, and it is indeed Stephen Quirk that's coming, and it looks like Robbie Egan as well is coming on the field of play just in a matter of moments. And won't say it's safe to say, but it's almost safe to say Kilmallock will be in the semi-final next weekend. This game has petered out a little bit after a dramatic finish. Barry Hennessy, is he going to get another point for the afternoon? He's not. It's going to go left and wide.
I'd say this one's going to go route one from South Liberties, get as far on the field as possible. Time is definitely running out here.
Well, we spoke about the team of 2014 earlier on, and here's a man coming on, Robbie Egan, who was a big part of that, and he's replacing a man who was an even bigger part. Gavin O'Mahony comes off the field of play for a round of applause, and it's about minding your players for next weekend now, as the recovery will start pretty straight away before you play in a big game next weekend in the county semi-finals, as Anthony Nash looks to step away from Robbie Egan, as his first bit of play is to try and put a challenge in. It goes rude one, as Jack says, down on a break. It's Tom Ryan, just can't get it up. It's Kieran O'Connor who has it to Kevin O'Donnell, who's hit a lot of ball in this second half, and indeed right in the extra time, getting it up to Owen Quilty as David Gary takes the pass overhead, and tired bodies on the ground now. Killian Hayes making a right nuisance of himself and doing really well, as it's off with Stephen Quirk to Graham Mulcahy, and Mulcahy strikes. They like it on the far side. The call had come from Pierce Connery and Jed Earls, and it looks like it's a score, and it is a score from Graham Mulcahy. And well, we talked about experience coming to the fore, none more so than Graham Mulcahy, lads, in the last 20 minutes to half an hour. 4:17, 1:32.
Yeah, we felt maybe at, between the break, Ger, that maybe the extra time was set up for Graham Mulcahy, and that certainly was the case. He brought all his experience, and he added it with some very good scores. A very, very well taken goal, you'd have to say, and that was an excellent score from Graham Mulcahy. Classical Graham Mulcahy, of course.
Free coming from for Tom Ryan, as Brian Gary is cramped in the middle of the field. It's going rude one in, but it doesn't get there. It's Kieran O'Connor back, the man with number 6 in his back, playing it across to Stephen Quirk, but Shane O'Neill battling hard. Some character and heart in this guy, as he adds to it inside, but there's no Liberties man there. But Kevin O'Donnell is hitting it long, and Micheál Houlihan, well, he's got a lot of time and space here. This should be routine for Micheál Houlihan, and I would say it's probably capping one of his finest performances in the Kilmallock jersey, as we play almost full time here, as Mike Keane comes back on the field of play. I'll check and see what he's got in this game, but it's been an amazing tally, gentlemen.
I have him down for 13 here, Ger, 6 from play.
Whoa. That is some score, and well, the last one was probably his easiest one, as his team moves to 133 for the day, and moves, more importantly, to a county semi-final next weekend. We're in injury time. We're in the second minute of that, as Barry Cooney gives back to Tom Ryan, blocked well by the new man in there for Kilmallock, which is Paddy O'Connor, and O'Connor is making a nuisance of himself in the action, as with Stephen Quirk. Barry Cooney off to Brendan McSweeney, man outside is Davy O'Neill. There's another man outside, which is David Gary. Does he fancy a shot? Gary trying to get inside. Philip O'Loughlin hauled to the ground, and if that was the big ball, lads, we would see a black card for that one.
That's just experience there for Mark O'Loughlin. Like, you wouldn't give up a goal at this stage, because you don't know what John Halloran's going to add on now. Probably not enough time, even if you did get the goal. But when you're allowed in hurling at a club level, you do it every day of the week. And look, it mightn't sound nice to say it, but if you can be cynical in this game and you have a chance to do it, you'll do it.
And that's it. Tony Considine and Rory Gantley and crew will march on as Barry Nash hits it. Oh, a goal! A 5th goal of the afternoon for South Liberties, and Barry Hennessy did get to save it, but it went off his hurley and into the back of the net. I would probably say it's the final play of the day, and it's Barry Nash's goal that brings down the curtain in the Gaelic grounds. 5:17 to 1:33. Kilmallock deserving winners in extra time, Matt O'Callaghan.
Yeah, and it panned out as, whilst we didn't know what way it would pan out, but it's not panned out as we expected it would. South Liberties will go away, just absolutely wondering, how do you score 5-17 in a hurling match and fail to win it? It's a huge question, a huge answer, but they will go away taking an awful lot out of this game. In that that they are able to compete, and that possibly, as I said earlier on, that the gap has closed somewhat between A and B, Section A and Section B, and like there was a stage there in the game in normal time when they went 2 points up with less than 3 minutes left. It was there for them to close it out, but Kilmallock's experience came to Kilmallock's rescue, and they forced the draw, and I don't think anybody could argue with the result from what we saw in extra time. It was Kilmallock dominated in extra time. But we're looking at a statistic, and you can look at raw statistics, and you can look at scores, and you can look at what you like. But it's 34 scores to 22. It's 3 scores to 2. So, that suggests a certain element of a certain dominance by Kilmallock, and I think that's what was reflected between the white lines out there today, Ger.
And it's, Dale Marsh on to next weekend. We're going to take a deserved break. It's been a marathon since about 2 o'clock. It's Kilmallock who leave here winners in the end on a scoreline of 133 to South Liberties' brave and valiant 5 goals and 17. More to come in the second game.